whenever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. I'm Owen Finch, and I'm here with
AJ Talon, and today we're doing Yellowjackets, Season 1, Episode 6.
This is actually a pretty big accomplishment for us, because this is the first time...
Yeah, we got halfway through Season 1, yeah.
Not just that, but this is the first time, we've reviewed an episode and then reviewed the next episode, pretty much right away, which is pretty big for us, because we did, Episode 5 Wednesday. I mean, we didn't watch it, come back to it right away. That took us some time, but, this is still pretty big accomplishment for us. We have to take it where we can get it, AJ,
Well, listen, I told Owen, okay, look, everything else, just put it on the back burner. I want to get through Season 1. Because we take big breaks, so, I just want to get through the season.
But yeah, we're doing Episode 6. This episode is called, Saints. And do you know the episode date? I mean, you just did the last one.
Oh, yeah. Last time it was December 2021.
Yeah.
So I'm going to guess December 28th, 2021.
Ooh. If you had done if we had done the next episode, you would have been so close. I mean, it's still pretty close, but you would have been a couple of days off. This is December 19th, 2021. So
okay. I was thinking, I think the last episode was on the 13th, right? I was thinking it was the 23rd.
Yeah. This is December 9th, 2021. December 19th, 2021. That's pretty bad. I'm getting it wrong, and I have it right in front of me. I'm reading the date wrong. It's pretty bad, But yeah.
We'll have to remember next time, the 26th.
But yeah, the director of this was Billy Woodruff. He's so good he gets his own wiki. Yeah, he's let's see what else he's directed. I'm just gonna see if it's anything I know, or anything that's nothing I know here except the Yellowjackets stuff. So, yeah, nothing here that I know except the Yellowjackets does. But he's a pretty famous director. He's directed a lot of things. He started in 2003, so that's pretty cool for him. And it was written by Chantley M. Wells. Again, he's so famous he doesn't need a wiki. That's how great he is. He did this episode all by himself, and he wrote some stuff in this episode. I kind of have to question
I like to imagine it's just him and he's putting on wigs for every character, he's every character.
Pretty sure that's a reference to something. So, but yeah, I like to think also makes you question, because this is the episode that's it's got a lot going on in this episode. It tackles a lot of stuff, and he wrote it. So pretty cool. I assume even though he probably originally wrote the episode, but he probably did have some help. He probably asked the person who wrote the last episode, making sure that he gets everything right. To kind of make sure it's all.
I think it's how most shows go, right? Each episode has individual writers, but there's a showrunner to make sure the storyline is consistent.
Yeah, I just say that too because it'd be kind of weird if he just wrote this without knowing anything, and then all of a sudden just went to town. So
yeah, I think that's why they have showrunners or guides for. Because people will just be making random shit that doesn't mesh together.
I mean, Kiss Sis does have a showrunner, so
somehow, which is weird because that show doesn't. That show
maybe it doesn't have a show. Maybe that's what. Actually, maybe it doesn't have a showrunner. Then actually,
Yeah, because those episodes do not flow together at all. Yeah. But yeah, let's get to 1996. I'm starting off. So obviously we started off last episode. We saw Natalie and Travis in the past, and they were beginning to date. They were kind of flirting while they were hunting, and they started to kiss. This was nice because obviously the episode before kind of showed they started off really rocky, but they kind of bonded over the dead dads.
Yeah.
And also Travis is the only guy in a fucking 100-mile radius. So, chances, his odds were pretty good of getting a girlfriend. Well, because, obviously Ben, but, like, he's older than everyone. And, and Travis is young. Yeah, Javi's, like, we don't know how old Javi is, but, like, he's younger, than everyone.
Right.
So, again, Travis, he has, well, again, we don't know how many survivors. There could be 10, there could be fucking 50. His odds were pretty good.
I think we had an extra person here we didn't see before too, like for some reason.
Right, that's what I'm saying. There's like a couple background extras, and I'm like, we don't know how many people actually survived the crash.
I feel like we're gonna mention that every episode.
Yeah, but we see kind of when they're out hunting, Travis and Natalie kind of like sneak off to like fool around a little bit. They're like making out in the plane crash or like pieces of the plane. And like, Natalie keeps like laughing like during like the kissing, like she's getting like kind of awkward. And Travis is obviously like, like awkward about it. It's like, obviously the implication is we're going to confirm later. Travis hasn't really done anything like that before.
Right.
So obviously he's getting a little insecure, but they come back.
I felt bad for him too, because like right when he started feeling confident, of course, like Natalie like not bad or anything like that, was on like the broken piece of one of the airplanes or whatever. No, the TV, the cooking trays. So,
yeah, that's not even Travis's fault. Yeah, that's just like shitty positioning.
Yeah.
And to be fair, she's not like, when I say she's like laughing, making fun of Travis, I don't mean like in a bad way. She's just kind of like being goofy. She's like kind of teasing him a bit. Like we saw last episode, they kind of like rib each other a bit.
I will say this too, but I did. Even though Natalie from the past and present don't look anything really much alike, obviously, because the implication is all the drugs de-aged her and stuff. When there's bits in the past where you can definitely see, like, yep, that's definitely Natalie. Like, I saw that a lot in this episode, type of thing. So
yeah, like the characteristics, yeah. Yeah, and then they come back to camp like holding hands and like they're smiling and stuff. And everyone, kind of like whistles and is like, "Aw," giving them like, obviously, like they all know what's going on between them. And people are like, "Oh, they were doing a bit more than kissing." And it's funny because later we found out like, no, they haven't yet.
Right.
Or it's a little weird. I feel like the scenes for Travis and Natalie kind of just could have been wherever in this episode.
Yeah.
But like if they placed what happened later, like here, like not much would have really changed.
I also just kind of found it weird because like the last episode, the implication is that they did something and then they cut away. So I guess was that meant to like be like we thought they did something like in that episode and then like they didn't. So like,
the last episode, I guess you can say they were just kissing, but like the implication, like at the beginning of this episode, was definitely like, okay, heavily implying they slept together.
Yeah,
and then later the coach gives them condoms, so it's like it's weird that like later on they haven't yet. I was like, whatever.
Well, I think what's weird, like the last episode, they gave us the implication that they did, but then they didn't. So, like maybe because too, like they were also showing stuff from like the present with like Travis and Natalie, so that's what gave me the implication, anyways, and all that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, like it cut to like when they were adults, like in bed together. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of weird. I did like that it like because I didn't realize this until I watched it the second time. That because I don't think the group even knew they were dating really until this episode. So I like that the group now knows now. Like they didn't just keep it a secret and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. So. Which is funny because obviously Taisha and Van are like keeping their relationship a secret.
Yeah, I feel like having two couples date secretly, it doesn't really do much for the characters, type of thing.
Well, it's also like Natalie and Travis are like kind of like very upfront and like with how they are. So like it wouldn't make sense for them to hide it.
Right.
I feel like if someone asked Natalie like, "How are you dating?" she'd be like, "Yeah, so what?"
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe Travis would because like he's not really connected with the group, but I think Natalie would be pretty upfront about it. So.
And then a little later on, Ben has kind of like a sit down with Travis, like the dad talk, and I like how Travis is kind of like trying to avoid it.
Yeah, he's being all cool about it and stuff too. So.
Yeah. And then Ben is like, "Okay, look, like, I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to, but just like, we're out in the woods, and I like what Ben is saying here. Kind of like matches up with what's happening with Shauna.
Yeah,
where it's like, okay, look, we don't know how long we're going to be out here, and we cannot be taking care of a kid. Like right now. Not to mention, like, even if like the baby did come out fine, no, the opposite. Like that's even if the kid came out fine. Like we're out here with no medical equipment. Like if she got pregnant, like she could fucking die.
Especially caring for a kid out in the wilderness is more difficult than actual like people and everything like that. If the kid comes out fine.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, one, Natalie might die in childbirth because they got no medical equipment. But even if she is okay, they would still have to take care of a fucking kid when they've got like no. Yeah,
which I like, because it shows that we'll kind of see what the group knows, because obviously we know that they're dealing with that already. It's just the Ben doesn't know about it, so I kind of like that it shows what the group knows, everything like that.
Yeah. I also like this, because Ben says, like, he knows about Natalie and Travis because, like, it's a bunch of girls and they, like, word gets around pretty fast.
Especially,
basically everyone's, like, gossiping about Travis and Natalie.
And it makes sense he would know, too, because, like, they've been going out hunting, like, every day, probably. Mm-hmm. So, like, I feel like he figured something probably had to have happened. I also
like these two spend the most amount of time with each other, yeah.
And I also like this, because Ben's, like, the adult out of the group, so I kind of like that, you get to kind of see him, like, act like an adult and everything like that,
Yeah, and I like how he levels with him too. Like earlier, when they started hunting, he was like, "Look, we don't know how long we're going to be out here, and like you two are going to be like our main sources of like survival, of getting food. Like you need to work together."
Right.
And here is like same thing. He's like, "Look, I'm going to be 100% real with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You cannot afford to get her pregnant."
I like too. Like he didn't like. They didn't go the other route, though, where they, like, tried to prevent each other from getting into it. Like, he's like, you can't date her right now, because then if it ends badly, then you guys, like... I like that they didn't do that. Like, I like that he's, like, he's not really... He doesn't really seem to care and all that type of stuff. So...
yeah.
But, yeah, and then, and then he reveals to Travis, just in case that he has, like, a bunch of condoms.
Yeah, I thought that was a really funny moment where it's even in the show, Travis is like, we were only supposed to be in Seattle for like a week. Who the fuck are you? Like, why do you have like this pile of...
And I'll just say this: there's gonna be something that comes out about Ben that's gonna make you question that even more. So, do we need to like pause for a second?
Yeah.
All right, we're back, but yeah, again, like I said before, you're gonna be really perplexed about why Coach Ben has these condoms, because there's gonna be information that comes out about him. You're gonna be like, why do you have all those condoms? So
yeah, I assume there's gonna be like, well, because you said in the previous episode, like, there's some stuff about Ben we don't know yet, so I assume this is related to that.
Yeah.
But I like how Travis is kind of being like, he's just being like a fucking teenage boy about it. Like he's like, Ben's like, it's not really your business. And he's like, it's kind of my business.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, even then, I mean, like we don't, they don't know how long they're going to be out there. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like it's still not even enough. Like it was a lot, but it's like, they're in a relationship and they're going to be out there for, as we know, like a year and a half. So I'm like, even then, it's still really not a lot when you think about it.
Well, even then, like the fact that he just had that many condoms, not even knowing he was going to be in like a plane crash, was just even like weird enough too.
Well, I know, obviously, like it's funny because, like, again, Ben is like as Travis said, they're only going to be in Seattle for a week.
Yeah.
So like that is a lot. I'm just saying, like, it's a lot for the week they were going to be in Seattle, but it's not a lot for the year and a half they're going to be out in the fucking woods.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, and it cuts to a little bit later. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention in the previous scene, Jackie gets like pissed at Natalie and Travis, basically being like, "Oh, you guys are out sucking faces while we don't have any food." And I was like, "Jackie, fuck off!" Literally, last episode, your whole plot was about how you're useless and you can't do anything.
Which was
now you're like,
yeah.
Now you're getting Natalie for like not doing her job.
Right. It's not like they haven't been doing their job either. As we see, like in the last we saw in the last episode, even though they're floating and stuff, they're like making a game out of it and everything like that. So
right, yeah, so they're still hunting and stuff. So I'm like, Jackie, who the fuck are you?
Right. And you're gonna see why too. I think this episode is kind of like the starting stages of kind of trying to get us to kind of hate Jackie a little bit. I think too. And you'll see why. But it was kind of like a fuck off, Jackie. Like why? Who are you like to like really say that? Because like you said, the whole
that's the thing. If they legitimately were like not like hunting because they were too busy like flirting with each other, then I think she would have a legit point.
Yeah.
But here she just comes off as dumb because like as they were still hunting, like you said, they were making a game out of it last time. They obviously got some stuff at the end of this episode, which I don't think anyone ate from what they got at the end of the episode, but they still like got something. So Jackie, fuck off. They're still doing their jobs,
and you're not even doing our job. You don't even have a job yet, so it's like
right, exactly. That's the thing. If literally anybody else there complained to Natalie, I would have been like, okay, a little unfair, but like, fine, you're doing your job, so I get it. And then Jackie is literally the one person there who can shut the fuck up about it.
I do like. I really wish. Not Jackie. Natalie had called her out for that too. Like she's not.
Yeah, I was surprised no one said Jackie. Like Jackie, you are the most useless person here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides Shauna, no. Well, even Shauna's like cutting the food.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. What about Javi? What the fuck does Javi do?
We'll find something. I mean, he wasn't even in this episode, so like, I guess nothing.
I don't. Well, like even last episode, he kind of just showed up at the end for the seance. Javi just kind of like comes in and out, kind of like the extras where we don't know how many there are. Javi just kind of like goes in and out of existence.
It'd be funny if like he got casted. I mean, this obviously isn't really what happened, but he got casted like last second, and they had to like find a way to get him in the show somehow. So
they're just like digital, they're like photoshopping him like into scenes.
Yeah. He's not even really a person.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, he's just like a figment of their imagination. They all hit their heads really hard in the plane crash. Now they're imagining him.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the last scene with Natalie and Travis really, like that's just theirs. Is they're back in the plane crash, very romantic spot, right where his fucking dad died. And then they're like making out and they're gonna start like sleeping together. But again, Natalie kind of keeps like laughing and like not taking it super seriously. And then Travis like asks her like, "Hey, how many people have you been with?"
I don't even think
I think
before you get
because Jackie like made a comment like calling Natalie like a slut, basically.
Yeah. I also have to say too, I don't even think they were gonna sleep together this time because I mean maybe they were, but like I don't think they were planning on it because Travis drops like his condom like falls out of his pocket and then like that's kind of what made Natalie talk about.
And she was like, "Oh, did you want to?" And he's like, "Well, I mean, like not like well, I like his implicate where he's like not what I was planning, but like I mean, yeah."
Yeah. But again, I don't know if they were actually
they asked her how many people she's been with and she like gets all defensive and like shit. And she like gets mad at him. He's like, I'm sorry.
Right.
And she's like, well, why? What about you? And he's like, I like haven't. And then she kind of like stops being mad at him. I like that. Like once he kind of like levels with her.
Right.
And he's like, because I think she took it as like he thinks she's like a slut. But once he said like, I mean, I'm nervous. Like I haven't done it before. Then she kind of like eases up. She kind of gets like, okay, he wasn't like trying to be a jerk. He was just like being insecure.
Yeah.
And then she says she got with 2 other people before. Yeah, and then like he kind of like reassures her. Well, like she like kind of makes him feel confident, and they presumably get together, which is good for them.
I don't know if they hooked up because like that was the implication last episode, and we find out that wasn't the case.
I feel like it was a heavy implication this time. Like it'd be really weird if next episode they like didn't.
I don't know. It was pretty heavily implicated the last time though, so it's like so
yeah.
Overall, everything that happened with Natalie and Travis, I liked in this episode. I like, that they were in the episode like a lot, but they also like didn't overshadow anything, because that was kind of the issue I had with the episode that was heavily focused on them. Like, at least this time around, everyone else kind of got stuff to do in the past this time around in the episode, so that was good. So they didn't really overshadow anything. It's GM mode all over again, not overshadowing everything. Can't have your second match overshadow the first match. So
yeah.
But yeah, so and also, I want to mention, like, Natalie and Misty kind of have a little scene here. I just want to mention that because, because Misty, like, kind of tells Natalie, like, I have a secret boyfriend, too, which is meant to be, like, funny to, like, them, but, like, we know, like, that's just fucked.
Yeah, because, like, Ben literally told her last episode, like, we cannot be together. Yeah. Like, he told her as plainly as he could, and she was like, nah, he still likes me. It's like, well, I mean, I know he said he likes her, but, like, he's basically saying, like, we are not a thing. We are never going to be a thing.
It's like that.
And she just, it's like,
it's like that scene in Family Guy where, like, Brian goes upstairs to, like, Meg's room, and they do, like, a funny thing where, like, Brian's trying to make it, like, pretty clear, but then, like, you have that, like, cloud thing that, like, yells at, like, Meg or whatever, and, like, Meg still didn't get it. It's like that scene all over again. So
yeah.
But I wanted to mention that because, like, this is, like, the first time I think they've really, like, had much of a conversation, like, just themselves in the past, and that's kind of cool because they've been, like, hanging out, even whether Natalie wants to or not. They've had a lot of scenes together, like, in the presence and everything like that, which I think is kind of, like, cool. Like, I kind of like that we're seeing like people, like, have scenes together, like, in the present but not in the past, and, like, vice versa. We're seeing that in the past and not the present type of thing too. So
yeah.
And then just you want to just talk about the next scene, because I'm doing a lot of talking in the past. I kind of didn't realize that. So you want to just talk about the next then? Oh, actually, you are talking about the next scene.
Yeah. So Shauna has basically been having dreams or nightmares. Apparently, I was really confused because, like, it cut to her, like, giving birth, and I thought this was like a cut forward. No, like still in the past, but, like, this is like 9 months where she, like, apparently Jackie knows about the pregnancy.
Right.
But then fucking what pops out is a chicken.
Yeah.
And then, like, Shauna just starts eating the chicken. And I was like, well, it's funny. I, like, couldn't tell at first. I was, like, looking at it. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Doesn't look like a baby.
It wasn't a chicken. It wasn't a chicken at first. It didn't look like even either.
Yeah. So I wonder if this is going to be, like, some weird artsy foreshadowing.
Kind of.
Because, I mean, like, maybe if, like, she gives birth to the kid and they, like, eat the kid or something.
It kind of is. It kind of is a little foreshadowing here. So
yeah. Because and then she wakes up from the nightmare. It's presumably only a couple days after she told Thaisa about the pregnancy, or Thaisa knew. And then Thaisa was like, "Oh, what, another dream where it was like a pizza?" So basically, Shauna keeps having dreams where she, like, gives birth and, like, eats the kid.
Yeah, and also,
well, it's also it's probably like when you're pregnant, you get, like, cravings.
Yeah.
And they've also been out in the woods eating fucking, like, berries and shit for however long. So she's probably just misses, like, actual food.
Yeah, and I think you have to, like, eat enough food to keep the baby, like, strong and everything like that. So, and I'll take over, and then first talk about the first Thaisa scene that we see, like the very first scene, like what Thaisa was doing all of this time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just talk.
Well, you just said you'll talk about it, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess I was supposed to. Well, you can do it.
No, but you could talk about the first. You could talk about the Thaisa thing, and then I'll take over.
Okay, yeah. So Thaisa talks with Shauna about, like, wanting to go, like, get help. She's like, look, and Thaisa's like, that seems really dangerous, and Thaisa's like, well, I mean, what are we gonna do? Like, can't just stay here forever. Like, help's not coming.
Yeah.
And it does make me wonder how much time it's been. Because, like, I think last episode the implication was, like, it's been, like, a little over a month. We don't know how much time it's been since then.
I don't think they do.
Presumably not that long. So I'm just kind of like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Over a month is a long time. But for her to just be, like, definitively be like, no, help is not coming, is it feels like it should be longer.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
her and Van.
also they don't know that tracker or whatever was destroyed, so that kind of they're thinking like help was supposed to come like pretty immediately type of thing. So
yeah, yeah. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Van and Thaisa, we got a scene where they're like, I think this was before the Shauna scene, but I just like whatever. It doesn't really matter. Thaisa and Van were like kind of out in the lake, like flirting with each other, taking a bath. And wow, we got like, it's funny with the Dragon Ball thing, where we got like a full on nude Goku, and now it's like, oh, okay, this show is not for kids. Well, it already wasn't for kids, but we just got like full on nudity. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, it is Showtime too. I think Showtime like is a bit more like, lackluster when it comes to that. Even like, because even though this is an adult show, like if this was
lackluster, is that what you said?
I said lackluster. Yeah, I meant to say like.
I was like, okay, I was saying it was lax, like they were like chill with it, and you're like, I like how you're like looking at like like the naked girls, and you're like, kind of lackluster. Like, damn, Owen, is something you want to say?
Well, in my head they are 17, so I have to think that. So,
well, yeah, but yeah, I get you.
But what I meant,
I think it's supposed to be like 17, obviously, because the actors are like.
Yeah, what I meant to say was lackadaisical. I think is what I tried to say. Like, they're not like as aggressive like other TV networks. Like if this was on AMC, I don't think we would have seen like full on nudity. But since this is Showtime, they can do that a little bit more.
Yeah. But yeah, Thaisa talks with Van about like, hey, we should like go looking for help. And Van is like, are you crazy? We could, like hundreds of miles of wilderness, around us. And Thais was like, how do we know that? Because, the plane crashed and, that's it. We don't like know really like where we are. So as far as we know, like there could be a town just a couple miles from here. And like, well, same, and like she brings up a good point. Like they didn't know there was a lake.
Yeah.
Until I kind of went out far enough to find it. So it's like, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, there could be a town nearby.
Yeah, it could be a good point. I hate to say this. I giggled at this scene every time. I giggle at this scene every time I saw it because I've already mentioned this. It makes me think of that Family Guy scene where they're plane crash in an episode and this guy was just, like, right there next to him, like, letting this happen. He's like, yeah, I didn't want to disturb your plane crash. I like to think that made me think of that. Like, everyone's just, like, chill about it, like, not wanting to disturb their plane crash type of thing. So, but yeah, I still don't get in this episode too. They did try to give like somewhat of a reason why, because Van's like kind of fine with like letting them know that they're an item, but Thaisa doesn't want to. She doesn't want the drama, which is kind of like Really, I don't know how much drama there's really gonna be. I don't really understand that. Like,
that's what I was saying. I'm like, you fuckers are out in the middle of the woods trying to survive. Who is really gonna be like,
probably,
oh my god,
probably Jackie. Probably Jackie.
I guess. But yeah, I'm like, literally, who the fuck? That's kind of why I was saying, like, the Shauna thing. I hope that doesn't go too long, because if it gets to the point where they're, like, eating people, and Shauna's like, by the way, Jackie, I might have, like, slept with your boyfriend, right. I'll be like, oh, wow, who the fuck cares?
But, like, I don't really understand this one, though, just because, like, if Jackie...
Oh, yeah, this one is the epitome of, like, who the fuck cares?
Right. Not even just that, though, because it's... The only one that's going to cause the drama is going to be Jackie, and I feel like no one's going to give a fuck if Jackie causes any issues about it. Like,
well, I was going to be like, maybe Bible Girl, but I'm like, even then, she seems pretty chill. I feel like she wouldn't care.
I think she'd just let that be her thing. I guess that, but like, also, too, Thaisa and her haven't had, like, a conversation together type of thing. Like, who cares? Like, who cares? Like...
Yeah, well, I was gonna be like, oh, well, actually, Bible Girl is, like, really understanding of Lottie and is, like, the only person, like...
Yeah.
Like, kind of helping her out. So I'm like, honestly, Bible Girl's pretty chill. She probably wouldn't care.
Yeah, especially too. Again, who care? Again, even if that, maybe it's just us being there again, because like we don't care. But it's like, I don't know why everyone else would just. I don't know why everyone else is gonna care.
Well, yeah, like based on like what we have seen, everyone. Well, also because we know for a fact Shauna and Natalie don't give a shit in the future.
Right. So.
So I mean, like, oh no, one of the fucking extras in the background is secretly homophobic. Oh no.
They're not gonna be in the next. I mean, we don't even know how many people are there. They'll probably won't even be in the next episode, anyways.
Right? They'll fucking pull a Javi and like fade out of existence in between episodes.
Yeah. So, but continuing, going back to that Thaisa Shauna comes.
Well, if anything, that's good because everyone's worried about someone getting pregnant and like having to take care of a kid out there. With you fuckers, we know for a fact you don't got to worry about that.
Right. So
I'm like, if anything, people will be like, all right, cool, thank God.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So yeah, Van has the right idea. Taissa, as we find out in the future, Taissa just makes shit way more fucking complicated than it needs to be.
Right. Let me see. So then, yeah, Taissa and Shauna are having a conversation. You covered that. Shauna also like tells Taissa that she's been, that she slept with Jeff, which I thought was kind of cool. I kind of liked that, that she told.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, because Shauna says like, like I'm gonna be giving birth to my best friend's kid, and my best friend's boyfriend's kid. Very different.
Yeah,
Jackie is the.
That'd be.
And then Taissa immediately gets like a oh shit face, like when she's like, oh, it's Jeff's. And she's like, oh, okay.
And I do kind of like how Taissa reacts to this because like she doesn't really she doesn't really want to like not comfort Shauna, but like she knows that Shauna did a bad thing, but she's just like, so she kind of has that conversation like you said, like, yeah, just wait. Don't do anything stupid. Let me wait. I can find help type of thing. She kind of like does that to kind of talk Shauna down a little.
Yeah, bit. And that's another thing is like Taissa wants to like get help like sooner because Shauna like has a kid. Now they're on like a timetable.
Yeah, so that makes sense that like, it kind of makes sense that like that makes more sense why she wants to get help and everything like that. So
I also do like, even though she's having that conversation with Van, she like doesn't snitch on Shauna. Like she doesn't tell Van about it. Like she keeps it to herself.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So Taissa's a legit like pretty good friend of Shauna. Although Shauna, you're already kind of a shitty person. Just kind of lie to Jackie about it. When Jackie's like, "Oh, who's the dad?" I'd be like, fucking Fred Berger. There you go. That's the dad."
We'll get to that in the future. So, but then anyway, so yeah, continuing. Let's see. So yeah, and I also like this too because we know that Shauna and Taissa are pretty close in the present. So I like that we're seeing them get close in the past because we know that happens in the present. So that was cool. Yeah. So then there's a scene where Shauna and Jackie are just kind of walking around in the woods, and I will say this: we got a couple scenes in the present where we saw Shauna and Jeff kind of do things, like go to like a brunch for Jackie's like the anniversary of I think the plane crash. Or I don't know exactly what the anniversary was because I wrote it wrong originally in my notes, but it was some type of anniversary. This scene hit home much more because it was like already after like we had known about the brunch and like the brunch was like going on like so this scene was placed in there to kind of like make us really feel for it.
Yeah.
And this was after like you saw the scene like where Shauna, Jeff, and Jackie's parents like all had a scene together. So I thought the placement of the scene was really well done just because you were meant to like if you left I could just imagine like watching this live on TV. If you left the room during that scene and came back and didn't even know that scene happened, you would have a completely different feeling about this scene. But obviously this scene is meant to be there, with the implication you've seen that scene. So that's pretty cool. Again, we're going to talk... This is where it kind of gets messy when we talk about the past. When we talk about that scene, this scene will make more sense. But we're not talking about that scene right now. We have structure here. So,
yeah.
But anyhow, so...
what little structure we have. Yeah.
Yeah. So then Shauna and, Jackie, they're just hanging out in the woods. And Jackie is, talking about, like, how much she misses Jeff. It was kind of a coincidental. I mean, I know this was meant that she would have this conversation, and then we just saw that, though. That's just kind of weird, but whatever. Again, it was, meant to, supposed to be thinking about that. But it is kind of weird because we're thinking about that, like, like while she's having the conversation. Because she mentions, how much she misses Jeff and talks about all, like, the character traits that he has and everything like that. She talks about, like, how before they left for the plane crash, Jeff mentioned, that he loved her, and Jackie said that she never said it back, and obviously Sean is kind of being a little bit manipulative here because she's asking Jackie's reaction to it and asking Jackie that she misses Jeff. And again, you obviously know.
Well, also because we saw in episode 1, Shauna kept telling, she kept making Jeff say "I love you," and he didn't want to, and she was kind of being just say it, even if you don't mean it.
You do have to question too, because it was just before the plane crash. But she didn't really go into specific. Was it the morning of? Was it the night before? She didn't go into my implication is it was probably after Jeff had sex. So I like to think did Jeff just say that because he felt guilty about sleeping with Shauna right before the plane crash? So was that why Jeff said that type of thing? Was he just feeling guilty?
Yeah. I was wondering when exactly was that said. Yeah.
But we find out that Jackie never said it back. It did kind of lead to us talking about off camera because there's a speech that Jeff is going to give later. If Jackie had said it back, would Jeff? At least I questioned it a little bit. Would Jeff's feelings in the present be a little different, or would it be the same? I like to think maybe they'd be a little different. Not much. I think he does say high school girlfriend, but we'll talk about that later, type of thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like he wouldn't really change that much, but maybe he'd be a little more somber, I guess.
Yeah. And then, Shauna kind of starts getting lightheaded, and she starts to get hungry, because she's she has to eat for 2 people now. So, and Jackie's being really supportive for her, and offers her one of her last pieces of food that she has and everything like that, which is just kind of really heartbreaking because the whole reason that Shauna even needs this is because of the baby that she's carrying. That's why she's feeling this way. So Jackie's being really supportive, and it's just it's not good. Kind of I liked that scene, but it's not an easy watch when we talk about the stuff that we're going to talk about in the present. So, and obviously not an easy watch anyways when we know with how manipulative Shauna is and everything like that. So, but you're meant to feel that way. It's not I hate the scene. So,
yeah.
And then a little bit later on, Taissa goes up to look for Shauna. And she just doesn't see that Shauna's there. And, she kind of immediately jumps to conclusions because Shauna has been gone for a while. Because we didn't see Shauna for a while after that Jackie scene. So, then again, though, she went and hung out with Harvey for a little bit. So, And
with the release.
Yeah. Thais is freaking out, crap. And she asked Lottie where Shauna is, and she's well, she went to hike into the woods.
Oh yeah, because they mentioned in in the attic scene that Shauna was basically thinking about because I guess another girl at their school got pregnant, and this is a real thing, by the way, but it's super fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
Where you take a coat hanger and stick it up there and basically kill the kid, or kill the fetus basically.
Right.
But obviously, it's really dangerous because you fucking puncture something in your organs.
I don't know what the hell Shauna's plan was, though. That if she did say she punctured something, what the hell was she gonna say?
Well, I mean, that's why at the end she's freaking out. She's I can't do it. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Because basically Shauna's desperate and not thinking clearly.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, even Taissa's you could die by doing that. Don't do anything rash. And then Shauna was oh, someone giving me legit advice. Okay.
Right.
Basically Shauna fucks off and goes into the woods to do it. And then Taissa.
I know she's desperate, but what was going to be her plan though? I don't know if she wasn't thinking that far ahead, but what the hell was her plan?
She did not have a plan, Owen. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I knew this anyways, but yeah, I don't know. Because then what the hell? I don't know. I mean, then again, maybe she's just kind of hoping, she could just be kind of in that background, area, hey, those background people we talk about that just keep showing up and then not. Maybe she's hoping she was gonna fade into that type of work. Probably not.
Right. No.
I don't know.
Yeah, Taisha is like searching everywhere for because obviously she's worried.
Yeah.
And then she finds her, and then Taisha's like, okay, look, you're clearly set on doing this. Like, I can't really stop you. Which okay, it's really fucking morally bad, but like, I also kind of get it because like Taisha's basically like, okay, look, I told you not to, and you're clearly doing it anyway. So even if I stop you now, I can't babysit you 24/7. Like, you could just run off and do this some other time.
I did like this, yeah. Taisa tried to, but she did say like, let me at least help you though. Let's not have you do it on your own, so that way,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, like it's kind of like shitty, but like I get Taisha's mindset.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like if you do this on your own, you could end up killing yourself. So like, at least I'll help you and like try to like not kill you.
Right. But yeah, so then Taisa, is about to help Shauna commit abortion in the most painful way you possibly can.
Yeah, no painkillers, no nothing. I'm like, Jesus. I mean, obviously, because there's no medical equipment out here. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Again, I don't know what Shauna's plan was, though, because, even if, like, that's the thing, too. I guess she went far enough into the woods. Like, what if, like, Natalie, because Natalie and Travis weren't even there at the time. What if they walked up and saw her do it? What was her plan? Like,
yeah, well, it also makes me wonder, like, how far out did Shauna go?
How far out did Travis and Natalie go? Like,
yeah, true. I mean, there's a lot of woods around them, so like, I think it's totally fine that they didn't. Well, it's weird that Taisha actually found her.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like they're like, as Van said, there is a lot of fucking woods around them. Like, literally finding a needle in the haystack. Like, Taisha got extremely lucky that she found it.
I mean, I'm just thinking how I would be thinking. I would wait to do this until like everyone's at the cabin, because like, I'm not saying it could happen, but you could, like, what if Travis and like Natalie just happen to walk by like as this happened? Like, I would. That's just my thinking, anyways. You know how
she's like, damn, glad we don't have any relationship issues like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyhow, obviously.
Yeah.
Natalie. I'm sorry. Thais is about to help Shauna do the abortion. But it's too painful, and like Shauna also just can't do it, and she's upset obviously because like she was doing this so she didn't have to have Jackie's baby, but now pretty much she realizes like she doesn't have a choice but to have Jackie's baby. So I'm sorry, you asked me up earlier.
Jeff, baby.
Yeah.
Again, very different show if it was fucking Shauna pregnant with Jackie's kid.
Be a nice thing though, maybe Jackie can't get pregnant, and then like Shauna's just doing a nice thing for Jackie.
A little early in life. Yeah, like, oh yeah, 16 is like the perfect age to have a kid, of course.
I don't even think that science had even advanced that far yet either to like do that. So
in 1996, no.
But yeah, I did like this scene. I also like, because we don't get anything more, that like Jackie like didn't find out or didn't get suspicious at all about like Shauna being like pregnant or acting different. Like, I like that it breathed an episode. Like, we didn't get any of that this episode. If you think about it, Jackie really isn't in this episode. Her presence is there, but she's not actually in this episode really all that much. So I actually kind of like that Jackie kind of took a back seat this time. So Misty kind of took a back seat, but that one comment she made like was like, okay, yeah, you kind of need to take a back seat for a little bit. So I like to think like the actors too, like the people behind the scenes are like, who takes a back seat, and then like Adam and Misty like fuck up in like the episode, and it's totally planned, but they're like, yeah, they can't be in the episode for a little bit now, like they're kind of done. Like, they have like you have like certain things, and then like when you kind of mess up, you're just like, yeah, you're not. Like, maybe Harvey did. Like, Harvey, if you notice, Harvey asked that question the last episode. He didn't get to be in this episode this week. It was like, yeah, you're not in it.
They pulled him into the office like, Harvey, my boy, get the fuck out.
You can come back soon, but
this was supposed to be your episode, but no, I'm changing the script. Like, you're out.
Because I have noticed that like the past few times when someone takes a back seat, it's like when they kind of fuck up in like a previous episode. Like, but anyhow, continuing. In the cold open, we saw that, a flashback, a super flashback, where we see that Lottie and her parents are either going home or going somewhere. I don't know where. And everything's looking fine. They hit a red light. All of a sudden Lottie starts freaking out.
Like as soon as the light turns green, she starts freaking out.
Yeah.
So obviously the dad turns around and doesn't go at the green light.
And then we see when the right when the light, a big car accident happens with somebody else. So had Lolly not freaked out, they would have been in that car accident. So that kind of shows there's more to Lottie than we're made to believe.
The other guy in the car crash starts screaming "Thanks, Lottie! Thanks for giving me that heads up."
Yeah, it'd be funny if he just went anyways. He just decides to
Yeah, Lottie's no random background character, don't do it. And he's shut up, kid. What's the worst that could?
Yeah.
And he's damn it, I should have listened to the small psychic child.
I know.
Well, also obviously it's hinted that Lottie knew it was going to happen because as soon as the car crash happens, Lottie stops screaming.
It's kind of fucked up, by the way. She just let somebody else get out of that car accident.
Yeah, that's what I was joking about. I'm damn, kind of fucked up, Lottie.
Yeah.
That you only cared. But
it's even worse, by the way. It would be one thing if the guy just didn't hit a car accident, but that's even worse. I like that.
Oh yeah, we've seen the background. It was a fucking brutal crash.
The guy didn't even the guy who actually did the crash didn't even take that much damage. He was fine. I mean, it was in a big truck and everything like that, but he was fine.
Yeah.
Well, mentally he's probably not fine. I don't know. Maybe he is though. You don't know we don't even know who he is. He could be a psycho killer who just Yeah.
This is a crossover with Breaking Bad. That was Walt and Hank in the car.
Right. It's when. I always like when we take these scenes that are meant to be serious and we just make a joke out of them. It's just meant to be a pretty serious scene and we're just making a huge joke out of it. But then it cuts to the present and we see that it's during the day and everyone's kind of looking for food. They're starting to run out of food. This is kind of a big running out of food type of episode.
Well, you also forgot there was a scene after the car crash happened. It cut to later that night, and Lottie overhears her parents talking about her.
Yeah, and they're arguing whether or not Lottie has an issues or not. Cause the father obviously doesn't want to believe that there's something supernatural going on, but the mother does type of thing. So
Well, yeah, the dad thinks she's schizophrenic.
Yeah,
and it seems that's what Lottie believes because after she because when she starts talking with Bible Girl. About the visions, she thinks she's schizophrenic, but then she's so does God give visions or she's thinking it might be supernatural?
I will say I like this flashback, but it would have been better to have in the last episode, because we were supposed to already know she was schizophrenic or had some type of schizophrenic issues last episode, and they didn't tell us.
Yeah, when you told me the medicine ran out and the medicine was for schizophrenia, I said it 5 times in that video. I'm oh
yeah.
1, I didn't know the medicine ran out, and 2, I didn't know that's what the medicine was for. I thought she had a heart issue or I don't know, a liver, some kind of physical thing, not a fucking mental issue.
They didn't even I had to say this as an adult, so you're supposed to see this stuff for yourself. But they didn't even do a scene last episode where I know they did that scene with her in the lake in a fatigued state, but that doesn't mean she ran out of medicine. That could just mean she's not taking the medicine, because some people with schizophrenia.
Right, she's just fucking depressed or something. Yeah, I don't know.
They didn't really do a good enough job telling us that she ran out of medicine. I know I know they did scenes where she shows the pill bottle and stuff, but again, we don't know the time frame and everything like that. I know we know it's been a month, but doesn't mean she's taking a medicine every day of the year of the month. So.
Yeah, well, again, I didn't know what the fucking medicine was for, so I thought maybe she was taking one every week or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that should have been. I feel like it should have been that instead of the medicine ran out, because that would have made more sense, type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess she wouldn't fall down that quickly, but So then in the present / past, the present time now. I always hate when they do flashbacks because you have to dictate what time is. So, but yeah, everyone's running out of food. Somebody makes a comment like about like Lottie being crazy, and Lottie has a pretty good clapback. She's like, oh well, this is the person, you know, that whose ex dumped them for like their cousin or whatever like that. She's like, well, technically it's a second cousin. Like, get out of here. That means you support Kiss. That means you support Kiss Sis. Like, get out.
I know, right?
Yeah, get out of here. Like,
she's like, damn, I should have signed up for that show and not Yellowjackets. I do like that word. Oh, again, it makes me wonder why Lottie like isn't. These fuckers in this goddamn show need to fucking actually sit down with people and be like, hey, so serious issue. I figured I should let you guys know. Because I get why Shauna doesn't want to tell people she's pregnant.
Right.
But Taisha, I don't get why you're hiding the fact that you're in a relationship. And Lottie, why not tell people you ran out of your medicine and you're like schizophrenic? Like, why not just tell people that?
Yeah, I don't get that either. That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't even think they know she's schizophrenic either. So
no, well, it seems to be the implication is no one knows that because she's like seeing things, and then she's like, "Hey, did you see that?" And the other person's like, "No, what?"
Yeah.
And then, like you said, the whole scene happens where Lottie kind of claps back at her, but you know, because Lottie like claps back at her like, "Oh, you know, I'm just joking around, like nothing out of the ordinary." Like, Lottie, why not just tell people?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, what was she gonna do for like a week if like she didn't forgot to take a medicine one day? Like, you know, you would think you'd wanna. And they were gonna find out anyways, because like, you know, they were gonna go to like a hotel and stuff, and like she was gonna be taking medicine. Like, I don't get it. Like,
it just seems weird that like she wouldn't. Well, like, I mean, I get like, you know, when you're in high school and like if you're like taking medicine, it's not really an issue. Like, I get not wanting to tell people about it. But, like, when you're in a life or death situation and you're, like, out of your medication and you have a mental issue, you should probably tell everyone, you know, like, hey, I have, like, a mental thing, like, my medicine's out, like, just a heads up.
Especially, you know, because the fact you just did it.
Especially at the last episode where she had the fucking freak out.
Yeah. And
everyone's, like, thinking there's a demon. You figure she would be like, hey, guys, so, like, I'm kind of schizophrenic, so that it might have been that.
Right. The thing I don't get either is, like, if you had told them, they probably wouldn't have done the seance either. They probably wouldn't have even done it, you know, because they'd be like, well, they would have let Lottie do it probably, because it's like this could trigger something. So,
right. So I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, no, like Lottie's not behaving like a fucking normal person. Which, I mean, I get she has a mental issue, but like, I don't know. It just seems like such an easy issue to fix.
Could this be one of those things where maybe they're in high school and you know but I don't know. Even then, that's like.
Even in high school, okay, being a teenager doesn't mean you're fucking stupid. Okay, like Shauna's thing, where I get it, like she's like desperate and she's like, you know, like she's like scared of dying and like she's worried about her best friend hating her and like, you know, like sense. All that shit. She's not like thinking clearly. Like she's not thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Like I understand her like situation. Like that one's a very complicated issue. Like I get that. Lottie's is such an easy fix. Literally just tell people like, hey guys, I have schizophrenia. My medicine ran out because obviously I didn't fucking think we're going to be in a plane crash.
Right.
Like, just a heads up when I start screaming bloody murder, that's schizophrenia.
Yeah, I get
you
that,
know?
Yeah.
Well, it's also like a hazard for everyone else. You know, what if she starts like seeing things
hey, what's happening?
And she's like, oh my God, guy, you know, like what if there's a situation where like, you know, like you're like telling them there's like a danger and there's not, you know?
Yeah. You know, yeah.
So I don't know. I just think Lottie's fucking stupid. It's like there's no heart. Like I'm like there's no reason not to tell people.
I know. Yeah. I don't get that. Actually, I didn't even realize that until you said that. Yeah. I noticed we had like these two stories we really like, but there was a big issue that I just met that we both just talked about. Like, and was like, we're not even like really like. We're just dumbfounded about it too. Like we didn't really notice it until we like hit the. I feel like our brains turn on when we hit the record button too. We don't notice this.
So, to reference a show Owen hasn't seen, there's a show called Young Justice, and this character Blue Beetle, he has like an alien thing on his back that like talks to him in his head. But like whenever he talks to him out loud, everyone around him thinks he's crazy. And then, like, one character, Superboy, is like, hey, so, like, why do you, like, fucking talk to yourself like that? You're, like, sound like a psycho. He's like, oh, yeah, the thing on my back, like, talks to me. And he's like, oh, okay, gotcha. And I'm like, why do you never tell people that? Literally just tell people, like, oh, hey, by the way, like, my superpowers, like, my thing, like, talks to me in my head. Like, I'm not crazy, just so you know. But, like, he never does that. And, like, that's kind of the same thing here, where I'm like, this would literally just be solved in, like, a 1-second conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
Not even, just, she could just go up and be like, yeah, I got schizophrenia, by the way. Like...
And I mean, maybe it's a good thing, because, like, you know, if she tells people she's schizophrenic, and then, like, she tries to warn people about her visions, and her visions are real, like, no one would take her seriously, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like... But again, it's just like as a fucking normal person in that situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I would assume I have schizophrenia and not that God is telling me the fucking future, you know?
I mean, at least it happened in the past, I guess. But you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This plot line just is like, it feels like Lottie needs to be stupid for it to work, you know?
Yeah.
Not even stupid, because Sean is being stupid, but it's realistic.
Yeah.
Like, Lottie is just, like, being dumb for no reason. Like, she's not behaving like a fucking person.
Yeah. I remember, too, like, you know, I don't even know anymore. I just don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. So, like, again, I like the idea. I like what the writers are going for. It just feels like they really needed to make Lottie, like, beyond stupid to make it work.
Yeah. But anyhow, continuing, you know, when Lottie...
Yeah, sorry to go on the rant, but yeah, that kind of brings...
I didn't even really notice that until you just said... Like I said, I think we had, like, 2 instances where we didn't really notice something until we, like, talked about it, like, type of thing.
I mean, I'm glad she spoke with Bible Girl about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad she's not just keeping it to herself.
I'm not the best person to talk about
But again, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I feel like Lottie would just tell people, like, hey, by the way, my medicine's run out. Like, there's no harm in telling you guys.
But anyhow, and again, I think I was going to say this... If the issue is drama, the only person that's going to cause drama is Jackie, and you can just shut that down really quickly. Like, it's like...
I love that idea, where, like, people have, like, these issues, and they're like, hey, should we tell people? No, because Jackie's going to be a bitch about it.
I feel like, dude, there should just be that one person that, like, is just like, oh, fuck Jackie, I'm telling him anyways. Like...
Right. And I'm like, okay, well, so what's Jackie gonna do? Lottie's like, hey guys, like, my medicine ran out, I'm schizophrenic. And Jackie's like, oh my god, how dare you have a fucking mental issue? Let's fucking burn Lottie alive. Like, what the fuck is Jackie gonna do?
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, Jackie ruined herself by, like, going off on, like, Natalie, because I noticed, like, every time, like, when they say drama, we're like, oh, Jackie's the only one that's going to call him out. It's like, who fucking cares? It's Jack. Like, what? I like to...
Right.
All of a sudden, we just hear, like...
It's like, oh, the most useless person here has a fucking issue. Oh, no.
I like to all of a sudden, like, we just went from, like, being like, oh, it's... I feel like Jackie became kind of the new Adam in a way, but not in a funny way. She's like, oh, it's just Jackie. Like, who cares?
The one, like, whenever anyone has a fucking issue, Jackie just bursts in to be like, oh, well, good for you.
Honestly, too, like, and then honestly, it'd be kind of funny if Shauna just told Jackie, like, she's pregnant with Jeff's kid, and we're like, oh, it's just Jackie. Who cares? It's just Jackie. Like,
right. I can't wait for us in Avatar to get to the storm where Aang is talking about how, like, he feels guilty because he ran away. And Katara's like, no, Aang, it's okay. You know, it was an accident. Jackie just bursts into the cave, being like, oh, good for you, Aang. Well, good job letting all your fucking people die.
That did happen. That old guy called him out for it, kind of.
That old guy's Jackie. Jackie fucking reincarnated as the old guy in Avatar. I love that.
Well, yeah, wouldn't the old guy be Jackie here? Because, like, that technically takes place beforehand.
True. That. Well, no, this happened in 1996, remember?
Yeah, the Avatar was, like, in the... Oh, are you going timeline-wise, like, when the show came out, or, like...
Well, no, obviously, because I was making a joke, because this show came out later than Avatar, but I was making... Because it's set in 1996, and Avatar came out in 2004. But yeah, anyway. That's our new thing from now on. Whenever anyone has a fucking issue, Jackie's gonna burst in, being like, oh, boo-hoo!
And everyone else is just Jackie, like, reincarnated, so...
Yeah,
But anyhow, so, Lottie... looks over and she sees a deer that you know, it looks like it, you know, had something bad happen to it. Like it has like blood on its antlers and everything like that, livid and everything like that. And you know,
yeah, I'm guessing the deer is super important because like the poster for the show is like one of the Yellowjackets girls like wearing like a fucking deer head.
Yeah. We still don't know about that yet. Yeah. So I don't know. So
yeah.
And then Thaisa comes over and she's just like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then like, you know, she's like, "What are you looking at?" And that kind of showed like Thaisa didn't see it because like, you know, Lottie didn't talk about it or anything like that. Because again, Lottie just can't talk about stuff like that. So you know.
I know, right? Lottie's like, "Oh, should I just like have a 2-second conversation that could clear this whole thing up?" Nah.
Maybe too. She like looked and it'd be funny. She's also anti-social at the same time. She's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling it today." Like.
Shy. Yeah, she's like, yeah, I would tell people, but I'm kind of shy. I don't want to bother them.
Yeah. And then, you know, Lottie's just like, I just saw something weird. I don't even know what she even like said, but it wasn't what.
He's like, your ex-boyfriend fucks his cousin, and then she just walks off like the girl boss she is.
Even though it's 2-second conversation, Lottie, it's all it takes. So,
yeah.
And then,
she's too busy gatekeeping, girl bossing, and gaslighting.
And then at night, one night, she goes outside and she sees another vision. I think first it's like the deer, and then she sees like Thaisa like eating dirt, or it could have been vice versa. I forget which one because you know.
Well, when Thaisa like runs off to find Shauna, Lottie's the one who tells her like, "Oh, she fucked off." And Lottie's like, "Hey, were you like eating dirt last night?" And Thaisha's like, "Lottie, I don't have time to talk with you right now." Imagine if Thaisa was like, "Oh yeah, of course I was. Why?"
I would have done it. Yeah.
Well, like Lottie, what did you think she was gonna say? Like, "Oh yeah, you know, just a hobby of mine to go out and like eat the dirt," you know?
Yeah, because they're not they're not even at the stage yet where they'd be doing that. So it's like, you know, yeah.
I feel like even if you're starving, like, why would you do that?
I mean, I'm saying they're not crazy enough, anyways, and all that type of stuff. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, yeah, crazy. I guess I was thinking of like even if you were super fucking hungry,
so like that, like eating. Yeah. But again, in that 2 seconds, Lottie could have just said, "Hey, I just ran out of my bed," but nope, she decided to take 2 seconds to ask Thaisa if she was eating dirt. So. Right.
Well, it's also weird. So, like, obviously the scene cut off, like it like changed scenes, like after Lottie saw that. But like, imagine the scene continuing, like it didn't cut away. Like what? So Lottie sees Thaisa eating dirt, doesn't say anything, then just goes back inside. And she's like, "Huh, that was fucking weird. Oh, I'll ask her about it in the morning."
Yeah, I know.
Again, I like your idea that she's just like really shy and doesn't want to say anything.
Well, you know, she's like not even that shy, but like, you know, you don't really feeling social that day, so you're just like, yeah, I can wait. I can wait till tomorrow. You know, like
yeah.
You know,
Lottie's like, "Oh no, Thaisha's out eating dirt," and then she's like in bed, like at 2 a.m. Like, is that normal to eat dirt? I don't know.
Yeah. So then, it's kind of weird though, because like. We were meant to like be feeling like because the Thaisa was like trying to find like Shauna, and then it like went to like something about like Lottie. Like I was like, it kind of seemed like a weird cut. Like shouldn't you kind of? I was more interested in the Shauna thing, but then we had to kind of find out about the Lottie stuff. Like it's like they were kind of happening at the same time, but it's like is it kind of more important what's going on with like
Shauna
well,
like now? I said with the Natalie and Travis thing, it felt like kind of weirdly cut together.
Yeah.
I guess that's an issue with this episode. It's a little all over the place with its plot lines. I kind of wish it was a little more like structured better.
Yeah. But so then you know, Lottie goes in and talks to Laura. In hindsight, you know, obviously Laura probably wasn't the person to go to for this stuff, but whatever. She kind of talks about, you know, does God like believe in visions? No, does she? You know what does visions mean? Like, because I've been having visions lately, and Laura explains that it's God's way of showing us the future. And you know, it says,
imagine if she was like, "Nah, you're just fucking crazy."
That'd be awesome. If Thaisa would have done that actually. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, she says that, you know, that it's God has a way of showing us messages that only certain people can see, and Lottie kind of questions, you know, like what's a way so that she can like really have like a relationship like with God and everything like that. And Laura comes up with a great idea, and she decides to have her baptized. This was pretty cool. She sticks her head under the water, and then Lottie has like a vision where she's like in the like an alley, and she sees like the deer, and then when she pops back up, like before she comes up out of the water, it like showed like a light, and then Lottie kind of freaks out a little bit. And she said, she said, I just saw the light, and Laura says, God's speaking through you. And this made me think of a funny meme that my family talks about a lot, where they say, you just got touched by an angel. That kind of felt like that meme right there. With that Laura obviously wasn't going to say that, but that kind of felt like that meme. I did like that they placed the scenes together though with Shauna and Thaisa's thing with with the abortion, because one was like about like accepting God, and one was kind of like about doing something that God wouldn't really accept. So I kind of liked the blending together when it came to that. And then later on, doing the Natalie Travis stuff, the reason I don't think they did sleep together, because you're forgetting a big scene. They were about to sleep together, and then a deer came up, so they didn't sleep together. Because the deal came up, and then...
Oh, right, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right, because, they were going to, and then, like, the deer, yeah.
I was just about to say...
So Travis is still a virgin, damn.
That deer, man, that deer,
Literally cock-blocking him, like, absolutely. Yeah. What a shame. I'm glad Travis killed him.
I remember you even said, like, it's... When you even said, like, that it was strongly implied that they slept together. I'm like, no, they didn't, because the deer came up, so, like...
I forgot about that, yeah. I was thinking it happened, like, there was, like, a cut, yeah. So they were gonna Trevor. I don't know if I'm calling him Trevor. Travis was like about to get his game on, and then deer come up, and he's like, "Damn you, nature!" Shot his ass, killed him.
I think.
But then the deer got the last laugh, because Travis is like, "Oh man, this is gonna taste delicious."
Well,
and then he opens it up, or Sean opens it up, and then it's maggots, and Travis is like, "Damn you, deer! First you cock blocked me, and now you fucking are filled with maggots."
And I can't even eat you and like make you suffer for it, type of thing.
Fucking, in the future it's gonna be revealed who the killer of Travis is. It's the deer. He's like, Travis, I came back for round 3.
But a big important thing that came out of it too is when Natalie and Travis brought the deal over. Lottie saw that it was it had the. It was shot in the antlers, like the same place that you saw earlier. So it kind of made Lottie freak out. And then, like you said, Shauna opens it up. There's maggots in it, so they can't even eat it. So Lottie even's like, even Lottie's questioning this. Like, I had this vision, and like the vision that I had, like the deal wasn't even like safe. So,
Yeah.
Again, Lottie would have just 2 seconds, just a 2-second conversation. That's all it takes. Just 2 seconds. And the episode in the past ends with Thaisa like telling everyone like they can't do this anymore. They can't just keep because they asked like, what are we gonna do in the winter when we can't eat anything, because they can't even eat the food that they just brought. So Thaisa's finally had enough and says that like, I'm gonna go look for help in the morning, because it's like getting closer to night, so it makes more sense to go in the morning, because at night could be a lot of bad things happen. That was pretty much what we saw of like the past. Overall, I thought I liked everything that happened in the past. Minus the 2-second conversation that Lottie could have had, but it's 2 seconds.
I know, right? Lottie, you can't afford to act like a normal person.
Even though she's rich, that's the.
I know, right?
I liked it though.
Yeah. So then, 2021, present day. You've been talking for a bit, so I'll just mention my 2 plot lines real quick, because they're kind of short.
Oh, one's a pretty big one, but okay.
Well, I mean, the Taisha thing, I guess. Well, Misty was, as obviously been spying on Natalie from last episode, and then she decides, because as we're going to find out, Natalie, Taisha, and Shauna didn't end up calling that reporter. So Misty takes action into her own hands. We see her like stealing medicine from her job and like crushing it up into like a little vial. And then she calls the reporter, they meet with her in her car, and obviously the reporter thinks, oh, Misty's gonna like share her story or what happened with the plane crash. But then Misty's like, nah, drug you, injected her, date rape, and then honestly, Misty's a creepy fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we cut to, this was like the end of the episode. Misty tied up the reporter in her basement and just like walked up the stairs and locked the door, and now the reporter is just trapped in Misty's fucking creepy dungeon. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ben down there. Ben's like, oh my god, another person. It's been fucking 30 years.
Yeah. That could very well be the case.
I was joking. If Ben is actually down there, that's fucked.
Yeah. Overall, I like the Misty stuff. I like that you don't really think it's gonna be a big deal, like, because both Misties don't really do anything in this episode, but then like older Misty's like plot actually ends up like being like a hook to kind of make you wonder, like, what you come back. And
yeah, Misty's thing was just like happening in the background, like it wasn't really in the forefront, and then it was like, oh shit, Misty's fucking crazy and kidnapped someone.
I like this too because Misty only did this. I mean, I know she's crazy, but the main reason she did this is she thinks that the reporter's the one that's blackmailing them. So I actually kind of, or like maybe working with the person that's blackmailing them. So I like that,
Yeah, and then, well, it was kind of nice too, because obviously when Natalie wanted to call the reporter, Taisha was like super like, do not do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked that. I thought that was good. So I like the Misty plot. It leads to bigger stuff, but I like that we got like a small setup for it. I don't think I felt like it was. It also just gave like Misty something to do this episode, like that wasn't related to like Natalie and all that type of stuff. So
yeah,
because Misty hasn't really had like her own plot really yet. So
yeah, like it's been with Natalie. Yeah, and then Taisha's thing. So basically, follow up from last episode. Taisha's wife is super pissed at her, and Taisha. Okay, at first, to be fair, when they're talking about it, Taisha was like being legit. Like, look, I was fully intending on like resigning from the race. This was kind of like a spur of the moment thing. Like I didn't plan on it. And then she kind of starts bullshitting where she's like, I was thinking about the promises I made to you and to our son, and like, I did it for us. I did it for the family. And obviously that was horseshit.
What I do like about Thais' wife, I think her name's Simone, but I could be completely wrong, so I'm just gonna call her Thais' wife just in case. I could just look it up, but I'm too lazy. You know what? No, because then if I don't look it up, it's gonna take 2 seconds. I'm
Don't be a lottie, Owen.
Yeah, I gotta look it up. Okay, Thais with Thais' assistant. Not telling me the name. Isn't that great? It's great when it doesn't tell you names. Oh, you know what? I'm reading the 1996 section, so it could be. Yeah, it is Simone. I was right about that.
Okay, cool.
I typically wouldn't do that, but we just had a big conversation, where we just said it takes 2 seconds, so I gotta do it.
It's so funny her name is Simone, because I think I told you, like, I was watching a show, because we were talking about, like, pronunciations, and I was talking about how, like, I watched a show with a guy called Simone.
Yeah.
And, like, it's spelled Simon. So now whenever I meet anyone named Simon, or, like, meet a Simon character in a show, my brain wants to call him Simone.
Uh-oh, now we met a Simone. I mean, we already met him, but you know what I mean. But then, anyhow, but what I was gonna say was I like Simone's like character, like that it like progresses each episode. Like she started off being like very forgiving and like not really wanting to like jump into any conclusions. In the episode where Thais was gonna get blackmailed.
Yeah, I'm glad she's like legit pissed at Taisha here. Like she fully deserves it.
But I like that and Thais because she didn't even bring up like her actual speech, what she said in the press conference too, which was the biggest thing I think that pissed off Simone too. So
yeah. And then I like how Simone was like, "Okay, look, we have a therapist meeting with our son. Like, you're gonna be." And Taisha is like, "Our son doesn't need a therapist," and she's like, "Too bad, you're fucking going."
I love it.
Yeah, and then when they get to the therapist is talking about like Sammy, and like how he's got like behavioral issues, and like she's like, well, I mean, it's only one meeting, I can't like fully tell, but like it seems like he has like issues. I forget what she says exactly, but she's like kind of going over like what behavioral issues he has, and Taisha is like kind of just looking at her phone the whole time and like not really engaging.
Right.
And then, as we're gonna find out, like Taisha really doesn't believe in like therapy and thinks it's like a scam and it's dumb.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. With all the supernatural stuff, I guess.
Right. But and in the car, Simone is like, "So, did you actually listen to what the therapist said, or were you just on your phone the whole time?" And you figured, okay, Taisha, your wife is already pissed at you. The least you could do is like pretend to be engaged,
Well,
just to make your wife happy. But like, your wife is already mad at you, and then you go to the therapist, and then you're just like zoning out the whole time, like not giving a shit.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to the bigger reason because of that, because it ties into the Natalie plot line. But yeah, I would have turned my phone off like immediately, and at least pretended to give a shit. Like at least pretend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I get it. I think it makes total sense why Taisha doesn't like the therapy thing. Especially, because like she presumably can't talk to a therapist about all that bullshit because they all decided not to tell anyone anything.
Yeah.
So like, and like, she's, as we're gonna find out at the end of the episode, she's got a ton of her own mental issues, that she like doesn't talk to anyone about. So I can fully believe like Taisha's kind of like convinced herself therapy is dumb.
Right.
But like, again, like you said, like Taisha, just pretend to give a shit for like an hour.
Yeah. Probably wasn't even an hour.
I know, right? I'm like, Taisha, you couldn't have just pretend. Just put your phone on silent. Like, really? Come on.
Yeah.
If you're rich, like, who gives a fuck? Oh no, a therapist costs money. You're fucking rich.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. I'm just saying, Taisha, like, it would have made yourself so much simpler if you pretended to care.
But again,
I feel for Simone here. Taisha's being a fucking asshole.
Yeah. There's a bigger reason I think she looked at her phone like that she's not that she's not telling Simone.
Yeah, no, I know it's probably because of the Natalie thing, or like the blackmail thing. I'm just saying, like I'm 100% with Simone here.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Taisha's being a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And and she's being legit. She's like, look, our son has issues. Like, can you at least acknowledge that? Like, we should do something for him.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see a bit more about Taisha because at the end of the episode,
that's a thing you missed because it's set up. Natalie almost hit someone on like a bicycle type of thing.
No, I was going to talk about that. I was saying because like Taisha is being so dismissive about her son's issues. So before, like, Taisha was being like, oh, there's no lady in the tree. Like, obviously it's like he's like making it up, and like I can, buy her believing that. But then when we find out she's the lady in the tree, like it seems like she kind of like snaps out of it. Like she isn't aware of what she's doing. If this is like the first time she's like aware, like, oh shit, I'm the lady in the tree, I think that's fine. If she knows this is like this has been going on for a while, and she knows she's the one like harassing her son, then like, wow, like you are literally traumatizing your son and then like lying to him and your wife about it. So like, can you just tell me like, because like it seemed like she kind of snapped out of it and like saw like the stuff on her face. Like, does she know like she's the lady in the tree, or did she just figure it out?
The next episode, like she just figured it out. So.
Okay, so she doesn't know. Okay, I was gonna say because it wasn't clear. Like, okay, so that's fine. So she thought the lady in the tree was made up, and then she just realized, like, oh, fuck, it's me. Like, I'm the one.
But they are going to do stuff in the past where, like, she's been, like, sleepwalking and stuff like that. So, like...
No, okay, that's fine. So, but I'm saying she's not aware of it. Okay, that's fine.
She wasn't aware of it.
Because I was about to say, she is, like, a fucking horrible if she's aware of it and like, she's, like, lying about it,
Yeah. The biggest thing...
So it seems like, okay, she didn't know. That's fine.
The biggest thing the reason I mentioned, though, because this was kind of like a plot setup, foreshadowing when almost hitting the guy with the bike. That was like foreshadowing, not just to the lady of the tree, but something else that comes later on, type of thing.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, so like Taisha kind of like zoned out and like almost hit the guy.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention. I just wanted because we were talking about Taisha like being dismissive of her son's issues. I was just saying if she was aware of her being in the Lady of the Tree, then she is fucked because she's the cause. She's tormenting her son. And then when her wife wants her to talk to a therapist, she's like, "Nah, it's fine."
Yeah, I didn't
like that would be.
I delayed for a second too because I didn't realize you were asking me a question. I thought I thought it was a statement. So, at first.
Yeah, that's why I was like making sure. I'm like, is that the case? Because like I wasn't sure if she's aware of it or like she like just figured it out. Okay, because I was about to say like she legit like does not give a fuck about Sammy if she's like trying to.
No, she just figured it out. Because
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, she just. Because the next episode, I'll just say this, like, she goes to Sean and, like, talks, like, about it and everything like that, so.
Okay, that's fine. Because, no, legit, she would be the fucking worst mother ever if that was the case.
Yeah.
Like, he's traumatizing her son and then, like, fucking lying about it. That's fine. In which case, I feel bad for Taisha, you know? Because, I mean, like, she's an asshole. But, like, no, she, like, is tormenting her son and she's like, fuck, I didn't even, like, realize, you know?
I did like, too, because I didn't catch this on, like, the first watch until, like, afterwards. So you realize, too, like, all of the stuff that, I mean, he is obviously fucked because of that, but all the stuff that, like, you know, the therapist mentioned, he most likely doesn't have that stuff now because it was Taisha this whole time, not even him.
Yeah. And it's also, like, I feel bad for him because, like, you know, so it seems like it's a guilt thing. Taisha is, like, speaking to her son about all the horrible things she did.
Mm-hmm. So
basically, like, it's Taisha's guilt, like, manifesting, it seems like. Like, you know, because Taisha can't talk to anyone about all that shit. So she's basically made, like you said, like, she's probably, like, sleepwalking, like, separate personality. Yeah. And, like, all of it is, like, coming out.
Yeah. But, the biggest thing, though, because we teased this the last episode, in the review, anyways, because I remember, you know, you were making predictions about, who
yeah, it's because I watched that episode like right after we did the video and I was like, you fuck, because I remember you saying like, oh yeah, it's someone Taisha knows pretty well. It was fucking Taisha and I'm like, you fucker.
Yeah, I got you on that. You set that up for yourself too, by the way. Like you didn't even like if you didn't say a word, I wouldn't have even done that to you. But like, yeah.
I was like making predictions. Who could it be? I don't know. I need to see where this goes because I'm like I don't know how to feel about it right now. I don't know if I like it or if I don't like it. I'm kind of neutral on it right now. Right. It was a good twist. I definitely didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
And that so I got to see what they do with it to see if I like it.
And I thought that was a good. It ended the episode, which was good. I feel like it had to be the end too because this was something they.
Oh yeah, because they've been building this up for a while. So I'm surprised. I didn't think we were going to get a reveal for it so soon. I mean, it is episode 6. Like, I thought this was going to be a reveal for episode, like, 8 or 9, you know? Like, the end of the season.
I think this is, like,
So, I'm surprised they did it here.
It's kind of history making, too, because this is the first time, like, where we've had, like, you know, where they build something up for a while, and we got, like, a instant payoff and, like, a reveal to it and everything like that in the show, so...
Yeah. So, I'm interested to see what they do with it from here.
Yeah. What do you think's going to happen from it, from there type of thing?
Yeah, I'm curious because, it seems like Taisha just figured it out. I think she's going to not tell her wife and son because why would she do that? Why do people in this show talk about their issues? Okay, well, to be fair, I get that because that's like an instant divorce incoming. If it's like, hey, baby, I'm kind of crazy and I've been tormenting her. So, yeah, that one's fine. But, yeah, she'll probably go to Shauna and I don't know, maybe we'll find out a bit more about what happened. Like, not, you know, like in the past future, like, maybe some stuff happened, like, towards the end of that year and a half.
Yeah.
That, like, caused Taisha to go, like, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Right. Yeah, so this is good. I mean, I do feel bad I had to give away that she told Shauna, but I kind of had no choice because, you know, like...
No, that's fine. I mean, it would be weird if Taisha just went about her day, like, nothing changes.
Yeah.
And there's also the whole blackmail thing going on. So I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah.
Like how that's going to tie, if that'll tie into the Lady in the Tree at all.
And it's kind of weird because, like, you know, most of the stuff that, like, you know, that we thought was connected to the blackmailer ended up being Taisha, like the Jessica Roberts thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. The reporter and the Lady in the Tree, like, are apparently now, like, just Taisha. Like, maybe it's not related to the blackmailing. So I'm curious on how that's, like, kind of
just makes you question everything too, type of thing. So
yeah, now I'm like, okay, what? So what the fuck is happening now? Is blackmailing related to Travis? Maybe not.
yeah. So then I'll cover the Shauna stuff because like I feel like the Natalie stuff is kind of like the overall plot. So
Yeah.
So this after Shauna and Natalie and Thaisa have their meeting. We see Shauna at her house. We found out that she never got like the postcard. I forget because I haven't. It's been a bit since I've seen episode 1. You've gone back and watched clips. Did she actually get the postcard and she's just lying about it, or is she? I feel like
I think she got the postcard. Yeah,
because like it showed her.
But I'm most interested in that. I kind of forgot about that. So as far as I know, because like I remember the reporter thing was happening at the same time as the postcards.
Yeah.
As far as we know, the reporter is not related to the postcard. The postcard is like its own thing.
Yeah, I just forget if she got. And when you see who the blackmailer is, there's a reason I ask if she got a postcode. So,
yeah.
But then, yeah. So then Jeff comes in and she asks if she's like ready for brunch, and obviously because Shauna's trying to juggle all these things, cheating on Jeff, focusing on this blackmailing thing, being a mom. I think you can guess what number 3 is. So
yeah. Well, she's doing a pretty shitty job at all 3.
Yeah.
She's cheating on Jeff. So good wife. She's dealing with the black thing. She's the least involved in this plot.
Yeah.
She was just made aware there's a fucking plot happening last episode. Yeah. And then obviously episode 3rd plot, she's being a good mom. Yeah, she's doing a
pretty shitty job. So yeah, Jeff comes in and asks if like they'll go into the brunch because it's like the anniversary. I forget what anniversary, like I said earlier, it is. I think it's like the anniversary of the plane crash. I think is what it is.
Yeah, in the notes you put the 40th birthday, and I was like, actually, Owen, lifting my glasses. It got revealed that Shauna got Jackie's Yellowjackets outfit for Jackie's 40th birthday. So clearly, it's not her 40th birthday. Are you even a real fan, Owen? Big fan.
But it's some type of anniversary. It'd be funny if it was like the anniversary of like when Jeff and Jackie like first started dating. That's what they're going over there to celebrate. That'd be even funnier.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah, I think they say what anniversary is. I just can't remember. I am curious what it was.
It's pretty bad because I just watched the episode like at 10:30 today, and I don't even remember what it is. So,
yeah.
I feel like because later on they go to like a high school reunion and they say it's like the anniversary. So it might be the anniversary of like
the plane.
Yeah. Because it was Shauna's senior year of like high school and everything like that. So.
Yeah, because they're all like getting ready to go to college. Yeah, so it might have been like the high school graduation.
Yeah. So then, they'll be eating dinner, and it's you just feel like it's gonna be awkward like instantly. I know it's not the first time they happen, but like just putting yourself into everyone's shoes. Like obviously, the parents are still grieving about their daughter's death and that she died pretty. Well, the implication that she did, at least from this scene, anyways.
Because last episode they mentioned like what would have been Jackie's 40th birthday. This episode is going heavy with the Jackie is dead.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, everyone seems to think she's dead. So again, I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know if they're kind of going with like a bait and switch kind of thing, or if she actually is dead.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
So then, the parents are grieving over that. Obviously, it's awkward for Jeff because he cheated on Jackie. So he's like seeing the parents again with the person that he cheated on Jackie with, and then Shauna's been like,
well, it must be awkward because, like I think you said, the implication is they don't go over there like all the time, but it seems they go over there for like certain like big events, like Jackie's birthday. They go over there.
Yeah.
And like anniversaries, it's kind of like that relative you don't see often, but you go over there, you see him for like Christmas, Thanksgiving, shit like that.
Yeah. And then Shauna obviously has been going there like since they were like young, and obviously again when you watch the rest of the show up to this point, you'll understand even more why it's awkward. So
Yeah, but I feel bad a little bit for Shauna here because obviously I feel bad for the mom too because like she just does not shut up about Jackie. Like every word that comes out of her mouth is about Jackie.
Yeah.
And but like I can't blame her. You know, like again, her teenage daughter presumably died, and you know it seems like she's just kind of like never let it go, and she's kind of you know, she keeps comparing Shauna to Jackie, and like talking about how great Jackie is and how Shauna like falls short, which you know a little deserved Shauna.
Yeah, I like I thought it was because I haven't seen this scene in a while. I thought it was the opposite, where the father was doing it and not the mom, but the mom doing it kind of made it worse because the mom's like being kind of sweet because the father I don't think could get away with it because you could kind of because you know he's more like stern and everything like that, but like the mom is like kind of being passive aggressive about it and everything like that too.
Yeah, I mean the dad does seem like he's like, you know, obviously kind of similar where he's like, you know, like he thinks a lot about his daughter, but like he just seems more quiet about it. And I mean to be fair to the mom, she's not trying to be an asshole. Like she mentions like, you know, Callie going to college, and she's like says like, oh, you guys don't make that much, or like, you know, it's tough when only Jeff contributes like financially, and she kind of like backpedals and she's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean it like that.
I don't know.
You know?
I feel like she kind of did mean it like that. I thought that was what was past. I think that because she even says like,
well, I think that's what she thinks, but she didn't like mean to like like say it. I guess
I feel like though like the two, it's also the way the tone of that. You know, because they made it seem like it was that way, like with the tone, but then it wasn't. So,
right. So I'm saying, what seems to be the case is like she's basically a little like jealous that like, as fucked up as it is that like Shauna's alive and Jackie's not.
Yeah.
Which like is fucked up, but like I kind of get it. You know, like she's a grieving mom. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not good that she does this, and the implication is she's been doing this for fucking decades.
Yeah, because if she,
So, like, it's not good, but, like, I kind of get it.
Yeah. But, yeah, like, and, yeah, but, like, yeah, but, you know, I really liked the tone of this scene. And then, you know, I liked it, because, like I said originally earlier, when this scene happened, it showed, like, that scene with Shauna and Jackie, like, in the woods afterwards. So, like, I thought that was, like, good timing.
Yeah, because the mom basically mentions that, like, oh, Jackie loved rabbits. And then it cuts the past where Jackie's talking about how she fucking hates rabbits and she wants them all to die. She's going to become, like, the super dictator of rabbits, going to kill them all.
Yeah, that didn't...
she'll kill them all, not just the men, but the women and the children, too. You haven't seen Star Wars. You don't know what I'm talking about.
I was going to say, she didn't say any of that. I was like... But, yeah, then... And then, you know, Adam again, man. Adam again, the hero that he is, just loves to come in at the worst possible time. He is texting Shauna like on her phone, and
we set it off camera, but we're like, okay, Adam has like a radar, like he's like hiding in the bushes, like waiting. He's like, wait for it. Okay, now go. It's like the worst time for me to come in. It's, you know, and he's fucking like dashing over.
Yeah, because I feel like I didn't even mention this. It'd be one thing if he just sent like one text. He sent like 3 texts in the span of like a minute. Like,
yeah. It's like, all right, buddy, all right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Jesus, I wasn't that desperate as a fucking 16-year-old. You're a grown-ass man.
I think what makes it worse, too, is, like, you know she's married. Like, you know, obviously, why she's not responding, like, originally, too. So it's like...
Right.
And then, you know, Jeff's kind of being, like, very sincere. It is... I feel like that also... But it was kind of well-timed because, you know, she's basically cheating on Jeff, like, while she's at the parents' house that, like, you know, she kind of screwed over Jackie, so it kind of makes it all fun. Again, Adam, that was just bad timing, man. Really, like, that could have been any... Yeah. I don't know what was worse. I was going to say, that could have been any worse timing, but I don't know. Those were both pretty bad timing. I don't know which one do you think was worse, the Cal...
Adam is, like, the reverse of, like, a motivational speaker. Like, whenever you're at your lowest point, Adam will show up to make you feel 10 times worse.
Oh, Adam, you rule, man.
Like, yeah, like you said, Shauna's, like, you know, getting shit on by Jackie's mom. She feels bad about what happened with Jackie. She feels bad about her, you know, cheating with Jeff and Jackie. And then Adam comes in being like, hey, babe, you feeling bad? All right, just reminding you you're a piece of shit wife. Bye.
That's pretty much what it was, too. I think maybe that's why, too, I thought, like, when Jackie's mom was saying about that stuff about college, I think Adam was texting her at, like, the six. So that's why I thought it was, like, her, like, beating her up even more type of thing, because Adam was coming in.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shauna...
Adam with a sucker punch out of nowhere.
But then Shauna leaves, like, the table. We find out where she actually goes. But like that wasn't cool. Like Shauna just basically sent Jeff to the wolves right there. Like he has to sit down with like the parents who like he cheated on. Like that's kind of like I would have been like, yeah, I like that he calls her out for it later too. Like it would have been bad if he didn't, type of thing. So
yeah, he was like, thank you for leaving me there. Although he's legit kind of caring for Shauna, as we saw before the dinner or the brunch or whatever. He's like, hey, we can like skip if you don't want to go.
Yeah.
And then when he finds her in Jackie's room, which he'll talk about, he's like, hey, listen, like, if you want to go right now, say the word, we'll leave. And then when they get back, he can tell Shauna's, like, upset, so he kind of, like, sticks up for her a bit.
Yeah. So then...
Which, I mean, you'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Which I'm saying, I like that. This is a good episode for Jeff.
I think that's the most screen time, other than, like, episode 3, where we find out that he's cheated and that he's had, but like even then I think this is more than that, because like you got to like come out as like a character here and everything like that. So then Shauna goes upstairs. She kind of I think that's kind of cool that like they've kind of left Jackie's room as it was when we saw it in the past. I think that's kind of very cool for the parents. Kind of shows that they remember her daughter that way. And she picks up one of Jackie's like journals and she's kind of going through it, and she has like a vision. It's like a flashback, but we're still like in the present. So like this is what Sean is seeing, which was kind of cool. And particularly the like, I think like 13 maybe. I'm gonna guess just because like they mentioned that like, Jackie. They might be 14 actually, because they mentioned
they're like younger. They're like end of middle school, beginning of high school.
Because I remember they said Jack.
They did a good job making the actors like seem younger.
I mean, that's Photoshop right there, so
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, they whoever photoshopped it, good job.
Yeah. So then, this is kind of cool, but also like fucked. We find out that like, Jackie was kind of the one that like kind of motivated Shauna to kind of like be her win woman type of thing, so that way Jeff and Jackie could get together, which is kind of fucked. I mean, it's very sweet, but it's like fucked, considering the fact that like, she ends up, makes you think like, what did she instantly think like I'm gonna cheat on you like right away type of thing? So that's just fucked.
Yeah. Well, it's also seems kind of funny because Shauna's like, because Jackie's like talking about Jeff, and Shauna's like, wait, do you like actually like him?
Yeah. Like
surprised. And Jackie's like, yeah, and I'm like, damn, Shauna, kind of fucked up when we know what happens, later.
I think what was cool about that too was because it was after that scene where in the woods where she asked like if there's does she actually like does she love Jeff type of thing and all that type of stuff. So
yeah.
And then we see like past Jackie actually like there, like the like future Jackie, the one we see now type of thing. And she's sitting on the bed and she's just like, she's kind of, it seemed like that Jackie's kind of like, telling Shauna that it's okay type of thing. And then Shauna's like, I know it's okay. And then all of a sudden, like, it turns around and Jackie's all of a sudden, like, talking down to, like, Shauna, which, isn't completely out of the ordinary, because I think we just saw that scene where she was just talking down for, like, Natalie for no reason. But, Yeah.
Well, it's also funny, Jackie's like, it wasn't your fault, and Shauna's like, I know. She's like, actually, it kind of totally was your fault, but, like, don't feel too bad about it. We were just kids.
Yeah.
Although, I like that line, because Jeff kind of mentioned something similar, where he's like, yeah, it was like, fuck, but like, I mean, we were just kids.
Yeah. But what I liked about this scene the more is this is kind of nice on a rewatch, because what you think they're talking about was, the fact that, Shauna, like, had sex with Jeff and, like, got pregnant with their kid and everything like that. But what I actually like about it is if you watch the show later on, there's more of a deeper thing that they're actually like talking about. So
yeah, I assume there was more to it than what we know.
And that's how I felt back then too. Like there's something that we should know here. So like this is kind of a good way to foreshadowing for like the future and all that type of stuff. So
yeah, I do like that about like kind of past and present storylines where when they mention things like we aren't like aware of yet.
And this made sense to mention it because it was like in Shauna's head, and Shauna's already felt it, but like we don't. We don't know. Yeah,
because obviously, like, Shauna's already been through the whole storyline. It'd be weird if she, wasn't thinking about things that have already happened,
So I liked that. And then, we see that there's, like, a picture that, like, Jackie and Jeff, like, took together, like, way back when, like, in that, which is kind of weird. They looked a little older in that picture, which was kind of odd. Like, at least Jeff did anyways, but that was kind of weird. And then Shauna asks, like, after, Jeff's like, okay, if you want, you can go. But then Shauna asks, like, Jeff is, do you wish you were with Jackie instead of me? And, at first Jeff doesn't really give much of an answer. Then he's like, if you're not feeling comfortable, we can just leave. But, there's more to it than that. So then they go downstairs. And the mom's passive-aggressively, like, kind of grieving about her daughter. And she's still kind of passive-aggressively putting down, like, Shauna at the same time. So, Jeff's kind of had enough. And even though Shauna kind of deserves this, is in the right, I can kind of understand Jeff's points here. Like, he's been dealing with, like you said, decades where, like, his wife just gotten shit on for her. But I think he finally felt like, okay, like, that's not the best time.
Yeah, I think it's also because he can tell, like, Shauna's, like, especially, like, upset today. Like, she found her in Jackie's room.
Maybe not.
Like, was, like, feeling, like, melancholy.
I will say, maybe not the best day, if it's the anniversary of, like, the death and everything.
Yeah, I feel like maybe do this another time. Like, maybe not today specifically.
Although we did make this joke, I'll just make it now. Like, I like to, we made this joke off camera that, like, every other time they've had this dinner, it's gone well. It just, what a coincidence. We're actually seeing it play out. It went badly this time. Like,
yeah, this is like the one time where the parents are, like, being shitty. Yeah, I mean, obviously the implication, this has been going on for a while. Yeah. But like you said, it'd be so funny if, like, every other time they've been, like, super nice to Shauna and Jeff. This was, like, the one time they're being kind of shitty.
Yeah, that'd be... Like, okay, cameras are rolling today, cool. We're just gonna, like, go all out. Like, yeah. But then, Jeff starts defending, like, Shauna, because I think they mentioned, like, Jackie got into college and everything like that. And Shauna and Jeff was like, Shauna got into Brown. And then he kind of just finally, like, owns up to it. Because, I think the implication was the parents actually didn't know that, like, Jeff and Shauna were sleeping together. So Jeff finally admits, like, okay, yes. I think the parents probably, like, had suspicions about it, but, like, probably didn't, like, know.
Really? Because they seemed surprised, because Jeff was like, oh, hey, by the way, I was sleeping with Shauna, like, even when I was still dating Jackie. Yeah. And they were like, oh, shit,
Well, I was thinking that they had suspicions about it just because of the fact that they were being really shitty to Shauna for, like, no reason. I feel like that gives more of a reason for the mom to kind of be shitty to, like, Shauna, so.
Oh, yeah, true. Good point. Oh, yeah.
Unless the mom's just a real bitch, so. Then, I like that Jeff kind of says, like, it wasn't right, but we were young, but it happened. And then that was kind of it. I could, we didn't actually see how the meal ended. I imagine there was a lot of silence.
Well, it's super awkward. I imagine it's funny. And then Jeff, like, starts eating again. He's like, this is really good. It's like, damn, fucking Jeff's a chat.
I would have waited till, like,
the meal drops that bomb and continues the eat.
Yeah. I like that, I would have waited till, like, the meal ended. Like, I wouldn't have done it, like, in the middle of the freaking meal, because now they got to sit there in, like, silence. Like,
well, power move, exactly. He's like, I'm gonna make you fuckers have an awkward dinner now.
That's true. Not the best day, but it happened.
Yeah, again. Well, I'm like, imagine the mom starts, like, crying. He's like, all right, I maybe didn't think this through.
I will say, by the way, I think you probably we don't see Jackie's parents, like, after this episode. I think you probably knew that. Like, they, Yeah,
I'm guessing they don't, like, really talk anymore after that, which, yeah, it's a little fucked.
Yeah. But, then in the call, Jeff is given, like, a really great speech, like, about...
I also like that, like, Jeff was the one to kind of, like, bring it up. Like, Shauna didn't really say anything. And then he brought up, like, what she said in the bedroom. Like, he's like, I don't wish I married Jackie. And he's like, well, of course I've, like, thought, and I like he was being honest, like, he was like, of course I've, like, thought about it.
Yeah.
But, like, no, I don't, like, wish that was the case. I don't, like, wish I was with Jackie and not you.
I do like, too, that, like, it was Jeff that stuck up, like, Jeff was the one that said something finally during the dinner scene, because I feel like, it came off genuine. I think if Shauna had said something, like, it wouldn't have really worked as well, like, type of thing. So I like that it was Jeff that said something finally. So
yeah. So again, I like that Jeff was, like, constantly worrying about Shauna. He said, we can go or leave if you want.
Yeah.
And then, like, yeah, when he saw she was, like, being uncomfortable, he, like, stood up for her. Yeah.
So then Jeff, like, is saying, like, yeah, no, like, I've thought about it, but I don't wish, I was with Shauna. He's kind of trying to find, like, positives. Oh, I meant to say Jackie.
You just said I was about to say, wow, imagine he said that. He's like, I know I just stood up for you, but like, go fuck yourself. I wish I married Jackie. I hate you.
But yeah, he says that, he's trying to find like diamonds in the rough of their relationship. But like, I like that he's being honest. Like, he even goes to say like, we built, but then he kind of like pauses and like, hey, but then he's like, hey, we've been together for all this time, but that has to mean something, right? And, during this whole speech, you're questioning whether or not he's actually being genuine because, in our point of view, if you don't know anything, he's like the one cheated on her. He's like the one that started cheating on her first, which caused Shauna to cheat. But I think he actually was being genuine. I was just questioning, like, what's kind of going on here, though? Like, type of thing. So
yeah. So I mean, it's also like, I mean, if I'm still questioning if he is cheating or not. I think there's gonna be like a twist where he's not. But even if he is, I feel like he can still be genuine about it. Like he started cheating and he's like being shitty about it. But like he does still love Shauna and he does like want to like tell her like honestly like, hey, look, I don't regret marrying you. But like I think there is gonna be a twist later where he's not cheating.
And then I like to, he says that he loves Shauna, and she doesn't answer back, which, was a good callback, because, in the past, Jackie didn't say it back, so I actually kind of like, that they did, like, a nice callback to that type of thing. And then later in the night...
And, yeah, I'm sorry, again, I just like how honest he is. Like you said, like, he doesn't, like, sugarcoat it. He's like, look, things aren't perfect, but, like, we've been together for a long time, and it has to, like, mean something.
Yeah.
And, like, again, I like how he doesn't just say, like, of course I don't... I don't give a shit about Jackie. She's dead. I don't give a shit. But he's like, he's like being genuine. He's like, of course I've thought about it, but like, look, and also he does seem sad about it. Like he doesn't say like, I don't love Jackie. He says like, look, I was the high school boyfriend. Like it probably wasn't going to work out.
Right.
And he's also like, look, yeah, it was really shitty that we were sleeping together when I was with Jackie. Like that was shitty, but like we were just stupid kids,
Right.
So like, like he seems really sad when he says like, I was just a high school boyfriend. She would have dumped me. Like he seems sad about it.
And this is like here, like where you wonder like how much though does Jeff know? Because like we don't even know if he knows about like the kid that like Sean is pregnant with now type of thing. So
1996, yeah. So I really like Jeff here. It seems like he's really sad about Jackie, but like he's had decades literally to like kind of like convince himself like it wouldn't have worked out to kind of like, because when he says like he's thought about it, like I feel like that's fair. Like if you had a girlfriend that you were dating and even if the relationship wasn't good or like it wasn't going to work out, if they die, I feel like there's always going to be that part of you that like wonders like what if,
because they didn't really have a break.
So like I feel bad for Jeff here. He was really shitty for cheating on Jackie, but like yeah, I think he did legitimately like love her, and I think he does love Shauna, but shit just life is complicated. Shit didn't work out the way he thought it was gonna.
And maybe the thing if Jackie had like said I love you back to Jeff before they left, like he's probably like wanted like did Jackie love me type of thing, like the same way.
Yeah, that's probably a big thing. Is like a big reason he's probably thinking like I was just a high school boyfriend. She probably would have dumped me.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking that because, she didn't say I love you back, So he's probably wondering, like, you know what? I probably loved her more than she loved me, kind of thing.
But at the end, when we went to question whether his speech was genuine, is because the last thing we see of Shauna in the present is she's just chilling. Well, I say she's...
Adam is like, hey, is it still a bad time for you? I'm checking to see if it's a bad time for you.
Yeah. And then he's actually kind of being creepy there, too, which is, like,
Yeah, he's like blowing up her phone. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, all right, buddy, you're a grown ass man. You're acting like a fucking 15-year-old. Like, chill out.
I like how last time we just I don't know. But anyhow, so Jeff comes in and like basically says that he has to go like do stock at the store or whatever, like inventory. That's what I meant to say. And
like this conversation reminded me of what happened last time with the book club thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like a really bad like excuse lie to like go cheat.
Yeah.
Like it seems to be the implication where Shauna can tell he's like going out to like hook up or whatever.
And then when Shauna offers to help, he's like, no, it's just going to be boring stuff. So when he leaves, Shauna thinks he's, like, cheating. So this makes, like, Shauna respond to, like, Adam, actually, you know?
Yeah.
And then...
Good old Adam.
Yeah, good job. So this...
You cannot live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
I did love the Shauna plot a lot in this episode. I like that it actually was somehow connected this time around to, like, even though it wasn't connected to the present plot, it was connected to more so the past plot. At least some type of plot in, like, Yellowjackets. It wasn't just, like, its own thing this time around. It was actually genuine. And I think this is where, like, Shauna kind of breaks out and becomes, like, Shauna. Because we've seen a lot... She still kind of rose from 2.5 Men from the past 2 episodes. And now she's like, yeah, I see Shauna. I mean, it's not gonna help later. I'm gonna be going back and watching like shorts and gifs of 2.5 Men clips where she's in it. So she'll be Rose again, but that's okay. You know, it's fine. Happens.
Yeah.
And then ending off the
And we got the last plot line to talk about. It's Natalie's.
Yep. So early in the episode.
It's funny. You were just talking about how like we're wondering if Jeff is being genuine with Shauna. It's kind of a similar thing where this is kind of like it's unclear how much of it is Natalie kind of like being genuine with Kevin and how much of it is like kind of manipulating him.
Right. So then let me think. What was it? Oh yeah. So the actual beginning of the present day plot / 2021 is Shauna arriving at the motel that Natalie's staying at, and she runs into Randy, someone that was Jeff's friend. I think he was in like the first episode, but like they had to like remind you that that's who it was because it's been like 5 episodes, and and she we kind of find out he really didn't amount to much after like high school. He's kind of going through divorces like several times and everything like that. And then Shauna kind of lies about why she's there. She says she's just there for book club. I don't know why she lied though. Like, you kind of
also I like this guy because he says like, "Hey, say hey to Jeff for me." And then when we get the little flashback of like Shauna in Jackie's room, like she mentions this guy. Like she's like saying, "Hey, Shauna, talk to him and talk to Jeff." So like I like that it's like consistent. Okay, this guy is like Jeff's friend,
and he'll be brought up again throughout the show. So it's not like he wasn't just a one-off.
I'm just saying I like that they mentioned him again. Yeah, so I'm glad he's not just a one.
Yeah, I will say this. I don't know why Shauna lied why she was there though. It would have made more sense for Taissa, but like she lied about that she's not staying here. I'm just gonna go meet with my book club. It was like it's kind of weird. Like I don't know why she didn't just say I'm meeting like Natalie. Like I don't think you would have connected the dots, but whatever. It happens.
Yeah,
I did like that she like went to go to like where book club was, and then like when he was like out of shot, she went to like where Natalie was, and basically Shauna gets told about the plot. So good job, you're finally connecting the dots on the plot. And look, it took like all it took was like a 5-second conversation. I think Lolly needs to kind of Lolly should learn from that. Just
I know,
just
right? Damn it, Lolly.
And then they're gonna try to get the money together so that way they can because the guy was asking for $50K in cash. Like it was cash, right? Because I don't think he would be able to like probably not.
Yeah, I assume cash. It'd be a little weird if they like Venmoed him and they could like track it.
Yeah, I don't think they even could. So then Shauna didn't really know about this stuff. She didn't know about the postcard, but again, I forget if she got a postcard, if she was just lying. Again, I haven't watched episode 1 in a couple months, and AJ hasn't watched it. He's only watched it the one time, so But they said they're gonna come up with a plan. Originally, like you said, Natalie was gonna just like call up the reporter, and Thais was talking her out of it, but like I actually like that Shauna had to talk her out of it because that made sense. Like Shauna even said like even if she's not part of it, you could be giving her information that she could use on us anyway. So that made a lot of sense. So, and I like that Shauna said it, not like Taissa, because
I'm glad. Yeah, because obviously if Taissa was the only one who was like against the reporter, like it'd be suspicious. But it does make sense. Shauna's also like, no, don't do it.
So doing like the Taissa stuff you talk about, she's trying to get the money, but the problem is she has a joint account with a wife, and if she if she wants to get money out, his wife has to co-sign for it, which I actually thought I thought that was a good reason, to not solve the plot quickly. I thought that was kind of a good reason, because I feel like if Thais could just do that, we wouldn't really be in much trouble. They also say that they're going to come up with a plan to get the money, and then put it like a GPS tracker on it, so that way they can see who's actually blackmailing them. So throughout and again, when the Thais' phone went off earlier, like you said in the therapist, it probably was related to the blackmail type of thing. So Natalie talks to Thaisa about it, and Thaisa basically says that I can't get the money because it's me and my wife share an account, and right now my wife and I are kind of dealing with some things right now. We're not really getting along, so it's going to be kind of weird if I have $50K be bought out of the bank, which I actually thought was a logical reason. I actually kind of liked, because they actually brought this up later, like you said, in the because when Simone was also not happy with Thaisa earlier, she mentioned because she went to the motel to meet with Natalie and didn't tell her where she went. So I thought that made a lot of sense to get Thaisa not to give her the money. So then Natalie comes up with a new plan. So and then Kevin shows up. And a good time, too. Adam should take notes from Kevin. Kevin showed up at a great time, couldn't have worked that out any better. I like that Kevin, too, actually showed up. He was, worried about her type of thing. So, it wasn't completely random that he showed up. It kind of was random, but, it was, a fine random thing, so.
Listen, have we ever seen Kevin and Adam in the same room? Maybe they're, it's like the lady in the tree and Taisha. Fucking, when night comes, it's Kevin.
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, they don't look the same.
Adam and Kevin.
But then we find out that Thaisa, because she tells Kevin that she's going to run errands. And, originally, Natalie didn't even want to hang out with, Kevin and stuff like that. But then, Kevin kind of convinces her to do it. And we find out that she sold the car that she got, the first episode in the whole show. And she sold it for $50,000. I liked Kevin was.
I assumed that's what it was for. Yeah, the blackmail money.
Well, because she's shown with it later on. So, and I like that. I like that Kevin says, "Oh, when you said you were gonna run errands, I thought it would be I thought it'd be going to get dry cleaners or something. But no, I guess we're just selling your car. So it kind of worked out that Kevin went with her because she needed a ride back and everything like that. Ubers cost a lot of money, AJ, as you know. So, but
I do like how Kevin is hey, so I got a thing, so you want to come with me? And she's like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, I'll talk about this. So, we find out that they're going to his son's soccer game. Originally, when I saw this, I'm like, Kevin, you kind of screwed up here. That was kind of the whole reason she couldn't go to. I know we talked about this off air. It's not gonna. He couldn't have necessarily known that this was gonna cause something, but I do like that. He tried to talk her out of going originally. He didn't say what it was. Again, that would have taken a 5-second conversation, but maybe he didn't want to trigger something. So,
yeah, it seemed like he was being a little delicate about it, and he tried to be nice. Tried to bring up positive stuff, when they go to his son. And he's like, hey, my friend here, won regionals, she could probably give you some advice. So he was trying to make the good out of it. And then his son was like, oh, wow, you did regionals? Did you go to nationals? And they're both kind of
Yeah. So I like that Kevin wasn't pushing her to go or didn't make it a bad situation. He tried to make the best out of it. So
yeah. Also, it seems so this is interesting because when they talked at that restaurant in the previous episode, he mentioned he met a girl and it didn't work out. You mentioned it was a wife. I was like, oh, is it a wife? Okay, I didn't know that. He just mentioned he met a girl, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I didn't know when it went that far. And obviously now we're finding out that he had a wife.
Yeah.
And this is son.
Funny thing is, I think,
and they mentioned mom couldn't make it. The mom was supposed to go to this game, but she canceled, so that's why he's here.
Yeah. I don't even think I remembered he had a kid and everything. I probably subconsciously remembered it or something
Right. So I was gonna say oh, that's kind of funny because that ended up being So I didn't know at the time, but yeah, you obviously know. He's a father.
So then doing this, Natalie is given his kid Kevin's kid advice on how because like soccer advice. and he ends up taking it, and it works out for him. And this kind of causes Natalie to kind of have like a little bit PTSD. And I think the end of Natalie's plot line pretty much is, Kevin apologizes, not really apologizes, but he's comforted Natalie, and Natalie, because he realizes Natalie's been through a lot and everything like that. And we see, that.
Yeah, I do like how she's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm the crazy lady, and then he's like, hey, listen, I don't think you're crazy, I just think you've been through a lot. I like that where he's like, he's being supportive.
And then it shows, that she has the money, like the 50. I don't know why she was carrying the 50 grand like on her, like that was that wasn't the best idea, but okay, you do you, and then.
Oh, and you're saying you don't carry around fucking 50 grand everywhere you go?
Maybe not to a soccer.
Next thing you're telling me is you don't find little babies with monkey tails just hanging out in the woods.
Nah. And then, the end of, like, Natalie's actual plot is we see that her and Kevin are, like, sleeping together. And like you said, we're not sure how much of it is Natalie manipulating Kevin or if it's how much of it's genuine. So
yeah, I do like this because, obviously with Travis, she says, like, I don't just do it with anybody. Like, it means something to me. So, like, part of it is like, is that still true present day? Like, does it still mean something to her being with Kevin? Or is it like supposed to be like, damn, how Natalie has fallen now? She's just like using it to manipulate people.
Right. But I liked it though, I thought Natalie's plot line was pretty good. I like that her plot line's basically like moving the entire like story forward pretty much.
Yeah, no, she is hard carrying the whole show with like plot progression.
Yeah. So that's the end of the episode.
It's just plot lines. They seem, again, the reporter and the lady in the woods or lady in the tree. They seem so separate from like what's going on. Maybe it is connected to the blackmailing and Travis's death, but for now it seems like it's separate. Yeah. So honestly, Taisha feels like she's in like a whole different show. We were talking about fucking the blue sleeves. That's kind of, it feels like that's Taisha's plot line. she's like a whole separate show.
Right. But yeah, overall, I really liked this episode a lot. I liked, I thought they balanced out the past plot and the present plot really well. You definitely feel like the show is moving forward. I think I'm gonna give this episode. I think I'm gonna give this episode an A, a good, nice solid A. It's not quite perfect, but I feel like
I'm gonna give it an A-, same as last time. I think it's about as good as the last episode. I really like Shauna's, like, she's being stupid in the past, but like it makes sense. She's like freaking out. She doesn't really know what to do. Taisha, I like her plot where she decides, like, you know what, I'm gonna go find help. Like, I'm leaving tomorrow. Yeah. Like, you can come with me or not. Again, it feels a little like I wish they were more consistent with the time. I mean, granted, they probably don't know how long they've been out there.
Yeah.
But it's also, it is a little bit like, I wish it were more clear. Because, like if they've been out there for over a month, it feels like a little too soon to be like, okay, nobody's coming, like, whatsoever.
But again, I think
I'm probably in a rush because of Shauna.
Yeah, and Thais is the only one that knows about it too, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I like her relationship with Van. I like, Natalie's plot with Travis. They like have good chemistry together. Again, I like the Lottie stuff with the visions. It's just like Lottie it takes 2 seconds to be like, hey guys, I have schizophrenia. Like, it's, and again, Jackie flipping out on Natalie for like seemingly no reason. It's just like, I don't know. It feels like these people aren't acting like people sometimes. Like, again, Shauna being like dumb makes sense in context. It's with Jackie and Lottie. It feels like being dumb just for the sake of the plot,
Which is kind of weird. I remember when you said Shauna being dumb, it makes sense for the context. I was like out of context. If you notice, I kind of went out of that context. Like when I started asking about it, if you notice. Like, I'm like, wait, what's the plan? Like,
yeah, no, like, she is fucking stupid. And like, yeah, she didn't have a plan. But like, I think that makes sense based on the situation. Yeah. And obviously, because she didn't go through with it, Taisha was going to like stick the thing in her. Which, in hindsight is kind of funny because Taisha's gay.
Sure.
Yeah, and then and obviously, Shauna like freaks out. She's like, "Nope, I can't do it. I can't do it." But she's also like crying, and she's like, "I don't want to die," and
yeah,
like I feel bad for her, like legit here.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so A-. I really like this episode, about the same as last episode.
Yeah.
Like you said, did a good job balancing the plots of past and present.
Yeah, so good. Overall, really great stuff. Moving along, we only got like 4 episodes left. We're on with season 1, so and I could do
3, right? Well, 7, 8. Yeah, you're right.
We have to actually like. I know it seems that way, but like we have to actually review 7, so it's like and watch it. So, I will say this, but
I haven't watched 7 yet, so
I have great news for you too. Season 2, episode 1's on YouTube, so you can hold off on getting a Paramount Plus subscription. So
there we go. I'll hold it off as long as I can.
Well, we're doing LVB first though, so season 8.
Yeah,
so.
True.
But yeah, overall, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Anything you want to plug or promote? Because you got some time on your hands. Maybe stuff is gonna happen.
Let's pause. I haven't really done anything, but I've kind of been writing down some video ideas. Maybe I'll actually get around to like sitting down and like editing some stuff.
It's cool. I made it seem like I didn't care. I just went, that's cool. I just moved on. Like it's just like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I got my promotion in.
So, yeah, obviously at my stuff, you can check out Less Than Fortune 44. My friend Chris and I owe you guys a wrestling video. When he saw, I think you should feel better next week. He was sick / dealing with the effects of getting a COVID shot. So it's got to deal with that. GM, we're probably gonna do episode 11 with the PLE week. First, get that going. I'm thinking too we'll do that one and then we'll take like a week break because I feel like that's gonna mash in with when AJ and I want to do episodes 9 and 10 and of Yellowjackets. And I'll just say this now, we like with LVB seasons, I know we ended up waiting anyways, but we couldn't really control it. We should definitely try to sit down and like review episode 9 and 10 the same week because 9 ends on like a pretty big plot line. So
yeah, for sure. Well, as we said, we're going to kind of focus on Yellowjackets. We're going to get through season 1, and then we'll focus on other stuff.
Yeah. I kind of want to reward ourselves and do it's only a reward, but like a kiss sis, like in between like seasons.
I'm down for that. Listen, we're halfway through the show, so we can buckle down and get her done.
Yeah. And then other stuff.
We're going to do season 8 of RVP in between 1 and 2, and we'll probably do season 9 and 10 alongside season 2. The big thing with that is I really, really don't want to take a big break in between 9 and 10,
Yeah, so we'll have to figure that out. Maybe do like...
Well, like a big break as in like, if we like do like season 9 and then do a couple Yellowjackets episodes, that's fine. I'm just saying let's not do season 9, then do like all of Yellowjackets season 2,
Oh, I'm just thinking in terms of like, because of how schedules have been, like how that's going to work too though, so... maybe we could talk about that another time. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.